What's going on, everybody, and welcome in to episode 144 of the Pre-Patch Podcast. I know it's weird again. We're back on a Sunday. We had some technical issues on Thursday, but we are back, and we always deliver. I'm telling you, baby, we're always going to be here. So excited to be here on a Sunday evening. Hope you guys all watched football, enjoyed your weekend. I know I enjoyed my weekend. The Saturday, my Gamecocks won. Woo woo! If anybody is a
woo,
woo, and if you're a Missouri fan, suck it, bitches, you lost. So,
go game sport ball.
Cox. You can say it. It's in that game Cox.
That's so disrespectful.
Sport ball Cox. Let's go, baby.
Our motto is a fucking chicken, baby, and we're proud of it.
Oh shit.
Anyway, but yeah, but as you can tell, we've got the full crew. We've got Enigma right above me, Struffy right above him, Tony to his right, and Bill to his right. So welcome on in. It is going to be a gang buster of a podcast because we've got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Awesome.
We're going to be talking about Ashes of Creation. We got Warzone. We've got Game Awards talk. We've got all this other kind of news that's dropped over the last couple of days. So it's going to be a lot. And then obviously, do not forget that next week, right, is going to be the final podcast of the year, 2024, wrapping it up, putting a bow on it. It's going to be our Game of the Year podcast.
Whoa.
Careful.
I didn't say Game Awards. I didn't say Game Awards. I said Game of the Year.
That's true.
Games of the year.
Scathing.
We'll get to that more later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But
yeah.
I hope everybody had a great weekend. How was your guys' weekend? Was it good?
Ben,
good. Yeah, it was good for me.
Watch the Mike Tyson fight, the Jake Paul or whatever Tyson fight. We were talking about that before. The fucking travesty that was that. Watching that,
like everybody needs to know, right? And I hope that you cut this and make it into a short. But that entire thing for that particular fight, I went into it hoping it was going to be fucking real. It was real up to the point that Jake Paul got one punched by Mike, and then realized, oh fuck, and then Mike Tyson pulled back, and the rest of it was not
first round. Tyson nailed him right in the chin. He was like, oh, and that was the end of it.
Yeah. So, but if you were watching that fight or have not watched that fight, you need to go watch the Katie Taylor.
Go watch the
Serrano
100%
fight.
That was the best fight of the night.
That thing was crazy. That was such a slobber knocker of a fight. I spit on my monitor. So
slobber knocker,
man.
Slobber.
You said that.
I literally spit on my
saying that.
Slobber knocker got you game.
Talking about Gamecocks and slobber knocking. Let's go, baby.
Hey, listen. Real fun fact about the Gamecocks, right? So our mascot is called Cocky, like the one like in the outfit is called Cocky. And then we have Sir Big Spur, which is the fucking chicken that we like legitimately like tout around. And we instead of being called Cocky, they gave a poll last year or year before last to the students to be like, hey, we're gonna rename, from Cocky. You guys get to choose the name. Well, whenever you give 20 to 24-year-old, mostly drunk fucking college students the ability to choose a name, what came out of that was the Cock Commander. So that was what our mascot was going to be called.
That's better than Cocky, 100%. Man, I'll take that.
Cock Commander. And so the school nixed that one and said, we'll stick with Cocky.
Of course they did.
So just so everybody knows.
That's awesome.
Yeah, a little USC knowledge for everybody. So, all right. Well, I'm sure you're not here to talk about sports. You are here to listen and talk about video games, and that is what we've played. So we're gonna move into games that we've been playing. And Enigma, you're gonna be up first. You actually have been playing a game called Necro King. Not heard about this one.
This will be a quick one. I'm surprised you haven't heard about this one. You really like the deck builder like roguelikes.
I do.
This is right up that alley. It's a deck building roguelike, turn-based strategy tactics type style
Holy
game.
Shit. Anything else you want to add into
that? right.
It's a battle royale survival.
Yeah, there you go. It's got PvP aspects in it.
But it's a real game.
But you this is all about necromancy. You guys already know I love my necromancy stuff. I had to play it. I looked at it. It was on sale over the weekend with I think this is a game you played at one point. It was like Wall World, I think was the name of it.
Yeah,
I think you played it.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to play that when it came out, so I'm glad that it went on sale with this one. I think it's made by the same developer, if I'm not mistaken. But
Nice.
let me just check on that. I forget that sorry, I'm not turning away from you guys.
Motherfuckers, can you can put a monitor in front of you, bro.
I gotta grab my Steam. I gotta grab my Steam from the back.
Break his neck to go to another monitor.
Damn it. Can we get a GoFundMe to get Enigma a monitor from front?
I have 2 monitors. I just have a big monitor back there, and I forget that it pops over onto that. Yeah, this is developed by Koro Games, and I don't believe that they actually made Wall World, so I have no idea why they're packaged.
It may
with
just
each
be.
other,
I mean, a lot of games do that. They bundle together.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. Yeah, this is again, like I said, it's a roguelike. It's a deck builder. You're a necromancer. Your deck is essentially your undead servants. So you've got skeleton archers, you've got skeletal riders, spearmen, basic skeletons that literally just go up and bitch slap people. I found that fucking hilarious. They have like 3 health, and they just walk up and go pow, and
is that literally their spell ability is called bitch slap?
Pretty much. But
the actual
the cool thing is that like you build up your deck based off of like the collection of undead spirits that you have, and as you're going through these ranks and everything like that, you're actually combining your undead minions to make new minions. So like later on down the road, I think I got a healer by combining like a certain aspect that you can do to heal people in the field, and I believe it was a bard skeleton, and then you combine those 2 and you get a healing skeleton, like a cleric skeleton. Don't ask me how that
you know what this game
correlates.
reminds me of? It reminds me of a game called Inscription.
It looks like one of the mini games from that.
Very much the art style of that mini game for sure. Yeah,
I was getting kind of Loop Hero art style, but I dig it too.
I'm getting like Plants vs Zombies, bro. Like the
in a way,
levels, yeah.
But yeah, you got like you have to like look at the people, like the enemies that are on the field, and kind of match them up with your specific minions. So if you'll notice that like that skeleton with the shield has a 10 on top of it, that's how much health they have, but that's also how much damage they will do as well. Like it correlates to how much damage they'll do as well if that specific skeleton actually did attacks. That one is more meant for like you put it down in a field, and the enemy will target that skeleton first. So it's kind of like a frontline tank almost that takes all the damage, and then it lets the other skeletons kind of do all the be able to do their damage without getting attacked and everything like that.
I have a question. So whenever you're going into your attacking phase, like you have like a big open area that's like 1 2 3 4, right? Obviously 5, whatever. But I'm noticing that they're on different, it looks like they're on different like rows. So like you have the columns being 1 2 3 4 5, and then the rows are like, do you have to be in the same row to attack that, or do they attack adjacent?
Yes. Like unless you're ranged. So again, like the very early game, ranged is like your skeletons have like slings, and they can only attack things that are adjacent to them. Later on you can get like archers that can attack further away and everything like that. But yes, normally each of those rows, you have to be in the same row as each other, unless you have ranged attacks or magical attacks to attack each other. Those rows also correlate with like certain minions can only be placed in certain rows. So like the skeletal horseman has to be all the way back in the back row, like the very last row, because they charge. That's and cool. They build up power as they charge. So the further that they can go with charging, the more damage that they will do when they get to that specific line.
There's a lot of strategy they damage.
Yeah,
tons of just strategy, looking at it. I'm like, man, there's a lot of nuances that once you get a hang of it, I could see that this could be.
And it's like this is only a small selection of this is a very introductory selection of the minions. I think later on I got like a vampire of some sort. It was like a vampire minion at like the very end of my first run, and that thing was dope because like the animation for it moving, it turns into a bat and then moves, and when it attacks, it like attacks him with its cloak almost, and like does a shit ton of damage. That's like an end game boss. I think I used that as like my end game to finish off this first level. So it was really cool. It does have a kind of a cool system as well. You have a certain amount of turns to defeat the enemy. right? Later on. I don't know if they have it on this first little one because this is kind of like the introductory, but later on they have like waves and then they have turns based on that wave presence, right? If you go past the turns, you get a thing called nightmares, and they're these like creatures, like these nightmare creatures, blobs that have 10 health and do 10 damage a fucking hit, and they just continuously spawn if you take too
Jeez.
long. So
So it's like a timed mechanic where you want
it's
to not take your time.
You want to
get
try
through
and
it.
take as much time or as little time as possible, or
Yeah.
else if you get to the nightmare phase, you have an option of leaving, but it takes half of your deck. So if you're not at like a section, like if you don't have a decent amount of um cards and a decent army, and you get to that point, you can either sacrifice half your deck, which is a huge hit because then you have to go out and go to these graveyards and go and attack more towns and everything like that to recoup your resources and everything like that, just to go back and do that
Do you
original
know
attack, right?
if you get like any extra resources for killing the nightmare phase or something, or
I don't know. I didn't complete it. It's way
Gotcha.
fucking difficult. Like it is hard
Yeah.
as shit because I didn't have, when I went into the nightmare phase, I didn't have anything that could really deal with the nightmares.
Gotcha.
They have 10 health, and I like my highest hitting minion was like an 8 or a 7, and so I just could not overpower it. Like once they started spawning, then they keep spawning, it just overran me. So
Because I like when games add that like forced like difficulty, like timed mechanic, but I also enjoy when they give you like a chance, like if you do beat it, you get like extra shit out of it, you know.
I mean, I wouldn't
cool.
doubt it. It would definitely be cool if you did. I want to continue playing it and kind of get a little bit further into it because I got to the second phase, which is like a spider phase, right? Like it's all about like spider minions, and I was like, fuck that, I don't like spiders. But
This is
it was difficult.
I like this mechanic here that you've got where you're combining all, like you talked about a little bit about combining all of
that was what I was talking about. Yep.
Is it kind of just like, you know, you have to stick to a certain type of combining, or can you kind of like really like get imaginative and like try to combine these two and kind of really
not really
I
wish that it was like that. Yeah, I do wish it was like that, but from everything that I've seen, it's pretty box standard. You get to get X minion, you have to put together, you know, or to get C minion, you have to put together A and B minion. Like there's no, as far as I've seen, at least, there's not really any like hey, if I want to put a you know, a skeletal horseman with a like a fucking priest, what do I get when I put those together? Right,
that would be cool.
I think that would be dope, though. I really do wish that they had gone down that route and been like, you can make like a skeletal healer, right? Or like a paladin or something like that, right? That would be really fucking cool, like a Dark Knight, if you could do that.
Is there any like corruption like you can do to like people that like minions you kill? Like, can you like corrupt them and make them part of like your army at all, or no?
So not that I've seen, but there is a little thing later on down the road that like minions, as you'll be combating, you'll see like little like enemies with like little blue like spirits hovering above their name or above their head. Those, if you kill those, you get extra spirits, and spirits are required to summon minions.
Oh, okay.
So in order to summon minions, you have 3 different or 2 different inside of combat. You have 2 different sources. You have to have spirit and you have to have mana, and then on top of that, you have to have enough in your deck to be able to summon whatever you're trying to summon. So
okay, cool.
That, as far as I've seen, that's the furthest you get. There are status effects. Like when I was attacking the spiders, there was spiders that were putting down like webs that made it so that I couldn't move outside of a certain lane, and I couldn't attack. So it kind of screwed me because they can't move to attack. But I'm sure that later on down the road they will have something along those lines. It's a really fun game, man, and it's like, I think it's like $3.
Yeah,
right now.
it's
like
regularly
$3.24.
Yeah, it's regularly $5. You can get it for $3.34, or you can get Wall World and Necro King for $4.80. Well, I own it. I think it's $11 or something. I don't know. So it's $4.89 for me. $9,
something like that. Yeah, it's somewhere around there. But yeah, they've got that on sale right now. I think that like even at $5, like I think
I was gonna say that
I think with it.
I think I've seen games that are like more than that, and you get less quality than this. It's like this is a steal for $5. I'd even say they could up it to like 10 to 15, and I'd probably
I think they could too.
It.
Yeah, I think they could too. So it's made by developed by Coral Games, and it's being published by Aldelar, I think is the name of it. Aldelar. Released
Good on them.
September 4th of 2024.
Nice.
So they've been out for a minute, and I like, again, really good game. And it seems like this Alawar publisher comes out with a lot of these games. Have you heard of that Karate Survivors that came out recently? It's like a Jackie Chan.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, it's like a Jackie Chan Vampire Survivors. They make that, and I've heard that is exquisitely fun. Like I actually want to go and pick it up. It's like
exquisitely fun.
Exquisite.
Yeah.
Cool.
Word of the day.
But yeah, go check it out. Necro King.
Necro King. All right. Well, keeping on the whole strategy so I completely forgot about a game until you brought this up, and then I was like, oh shit, I did play this game, and I really do want to showcase it. It is actually called Metal Slug Tactics. I don't know how familiar you guys are with the Metal Slug series.
I've heard of it,
yeah. I saw you playing this actually.
Yeah.
I was looking at your stream when you were playing. It looks pretty cool. I
love tactics games. I always have, like, Final Fantasy Tactics, Disgaea, all of those. Like, really, really, really enjoy them. And saw this, and I was like, hey, let me give it a shot, because it's an interesting property, right? Like, Metal Slug is usually a 2D side scroller. It's not really, or a bullet hell. It's not really a tactics game. And they put it into, so they made a tactics game out of it, and it functions just like a normal tactics game. Well, I have to have the clip where I just get my ass beat. That's awesome. Let me. So what Metal Gear Slug Tactics is essentially, there we go, victory. Essentially is you have a team of 3 and you're going through these different maps. And as you go through, you're fighting the enemies. You have different objectives that you're getting. And then you are leveling up your characters with different, like, you can have, so each character has 2 different guns. They have a special ability. Each gun can have multiple attachments that you can see here, kind of, you're seeing as they're leveling up, and the abilities that you get are RNG based, so you don't know what you're getting. It's not always the same gun. The maps are RNG, the objectives are RNG, so there's a lot of, like, procedurally generated encounters,
like, almost,
right,
that you're going through. And then they have, like, they take it even a step further, where, like, you can synergize off of your other enemy, or your other opponents, or not opponents, your other teammates. So, like, if I kill somebody or attack somebody, and one of my other teammates have lines of sight on them, then they will do what's called a sync attack, and then that sync attack will then also go off, and then you could actually technically, like, have, like, the one guy that I'm looking at here has a sync attack that basically every time that he syncs and does an attack, he will get a one of his counters goes down by 1, and then if you do that enough to get his counter to go down by 0, his ability boosts the attack of another player, then he gets a completely free turn. So, like, there's a lot of this, like, comboing that you're doing, a lot of different like, enemy types, like you're seeing here. We've got some guys that, like, throw bombs. There's other ones that have, like, grenade launchers. There's, like, different objectives, like this one, I have to kill this van before it gets too far. There's, like, for this game, I was not expecting this level of detail when it comes to tactics, because a lot of tactics games that come out, especially when they're using, like, an IP like this, it's just kind of like, it's just basically, hey, this guy has a machine gun, go out there and do this. If you ever play, like, Tactical Breach, or not Tactical Breach, hold on one sec, what is it called? Breach, Into the Breach. If you ever played, like, Into the Breach, it's very, very much familiar. Like that. And didn't you play Tactical Breach Wizards, Enigma?
I did.
Not yet. No, I haven't picked it up. You did, Tony? I wanted to.
I did.
Yeah, I want to play that one.
Okay.
It's actually really good.
Yeah, so I figured that this would be very close to that, but let me tell you something, from the art style to the dialogue to the way the game plays. Like, if you loved Advanced Wars, if you like tactics games, if you like Metal Slug, man, this just, like, I got sucked in. I was only going to play, like, maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes of this just to show it on the podcast. I think I ended up doing, like, 2.5 hours. And it just, wow. It was so much fun. It's playable on the Steam Deck. Like, it's so good. It's so good.
Okay.
But
definitely gives me those old school Metal Gear, like,
almost vibes, like Contra. It gives me Contra too.
Yeah. I mean, Metal Slug is all that,
and
that style.
Metal Slug, that's what I meant.
Yeah. And, like, they have destructible environments too. So, like, here you're seeing where, like, I'm in front of a wall. and you're able to like I can destroy that wall, or if I get shot, that wall will block up to a certain amount of damage, but then the wall goes down. And if you're smart about like how you move, like the farther that you move, you get energy and adrenaline, and it will negate damage for you. You can spend adrenaline on abilities, all this other kind of stuff. It's insane. Like they did a very, very good job. And very rarely do I say like, because I'm $25 is always kind of that mark where I'm like, game's got to be kind of worth it, like to be over 20 for something. This is $25. It's I'm telling you right now, it's well worth the damn time. Like, and you can't even really hear the music, but the music in this game is fucking amazing. If you love like 8-bit retro style music, or just in general, like, it's got like this hard, like punk rock music with it too. It's just so good. It's such a fucking good game.
I'm surprised at how highly you're praising this game, because there's a very big drawback to this game that I'm noticing here.
What? It's not no PvP.
Where's the widescreen?
Oh yeah, I mean it is what it is. I didn't like that it doesn't have widescreen. Yeah, but it is
There's
what
no
it
dungeons.
is. Like
there is no dungeons,
no PvP,
no widescreen,
no PvP,
yeah.
no widescreen. All the things that I love, but the game is really fun. Like it is a game that you literally could throw on to a Steam Deck and sit there and just get lost while you're watching a podcast, i.e. this one. Or whatever else. So like it's a really, really, really good game. So yeah, shameless plug.
Yeah.
Metal Slug Tactics. It came out on the 5th. You can get it for $25. So just wanted to do a quick discussion on that one. All right, let's talk about the game that I think myself, Tony, and Scruffy, I know you have been playing, and that is Warzone. Bill, I don't think you've dabbled in the Warzones, right?
I don't like COD.
You don't like COD.
I
know Enigma will. Dude, we got to talk at some point in time. We're not gonna have a show on it, but maybe we do like a quick hit, like a what do you call it? Patch notes, where we got to talk about the new COD's fucking updates, because that shit's crazy with Blackbeard and what's happening with him.
Oh,
you mean the Siege update?
Yeah. No, not Sledge. Oh, it's Blackbeard's. Yeah. Anyway, okay, we'll talk about it some other time.
Right.
Let's talk about COD. Let's talk a little bit about Warzone. So.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on Warzone and COD in general? We talked a little bit about COD like when it was in the beta and stuff. Well, what are your kind of thoughts about Warzone and all of that? Is that a good or is that a bad?
Yeah, that's my thoughts.
So here's the thing. I played a couple of matches of Resurgence when it first dropped. I liked it up until like it seems like the skill-based matchmaking is kind of like just bad right now, because for me, I won 2 matches, and since I've won those 2 matches, it has gotten obnoxious. Like the amount of people who it's like you're playing against professionals. Now, it could be just get good, you know what I mean? And that's on me. But
I mean, I
geez,
that's SBMM.
Yeah, it's like, at this point
they see you're doing good, and then they put you in just crazy sweat lobbies, and that's all it is.
4 team stack ups. Your gun is like shooting wet nuggets at them. Like
wet nuggets.
But it's
not wet
it's
nuggets.
Obnoxious. It's obnoxious in certain cases. It's still fun, and then no matter what, it's like we complain about this game, but we come back for the punishment every
you still go and play it
every fucking time. So
that's what I say every time, man. Every time we play this, everybody's like, "I'm not going back to Call of Duty."
I say it all the time, and yet I come back to play. But Warzone is free, mind you. Warzone is free.
I did suck up, and I did play it, but I was gifted it, so little. I don't know.
I got mine for free. I didn't put in a dime into the game, so I'm okay with
it. But I still think it's fun. It's not a bad game. They do have to tweak a couple of things. I have noticed sniper rifles are fucking powerful in this Warzone.
Yeah,
aren't they?
They really are.
They weren't. No, really the last powerful. 2 CODs they weren't.
The
last 2 CODs they were not one-shot headshot kills. They've reverted back to the one-shot headshot that they used to be. So. Yeah, they're back to how they used to be.
That The only other thing that I can really say about Warzone as of now is just like I said, maybe some balancing. The guns play fairly nice,
He-
but you
Here's
know.
the problem that I've got with it, right? So as someone
Mhm.
that I played Warzone when it first came out. I mean, I also played Blackout. Like, that was when me and Scruffy were like in our heydays of fucking BRs. Like that's what we were playing constantly. But I played Warzone with the regular one, then Modern Warfare 2 or whatever. But it went to the problem that I think that this game's got is one, unlike Fortnite, where Fortnite has like, hey, they have a season and they're gonna have their shit, right? And they're gonna have like their new stuff, but it's all contained into this. And that's the one thing that we're gonna do, right? Like you have this one, and maybe they'll bring back something every once in a while, or whatever, but it's not. This has got a problem where they've stacked Warzone on top of Warzone on top of Warzone on top of Warzone, and so now you've got, well, you can use the Black Ops 6 guns, you can use the Modern Warfare 2 guns if you have that game, you can use the Modern Warfare 3 guns if you own that game, and so so they're all available, and trying to balance all that shit is ridiculous, right? And it's just not, it's not.
I
feasible.
agree. I agree. It's not feasible, but what I come to understand from watching other people play and seeing how, because I agree, there's way too many weapons now. There's the Black Ops 6 weapons. There's the Warzone. The other Call of Duty, Modern Warfare.
Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, all of those are in there. My issue with it though is, as of right now, if you was to try to use any of those older guns and take them into a lobby, you're gonna get smoked.
Well, see, that's not what I've
to
heard,
a degree.
because
there's still
I actually
some
heard
that
opposite.
really do really good. Yeah.
See, what I was noticing, anybody that was in the lobbies that I was playing in was always playing with mainly
Like the XM4.
Black Ops. Yeah, the XM4,
Yeah.
the Model
I mean,
L.
you'll get that just because it's
like,
hot. Like that's the new right now. Like that's the new guns. Everyone
right now,
wants to use
those
the
are the
new
guns that are working the GPR.
But there are still
I
some
believe.
really broken builds that are still meta from the previous titles,
Right.
and that's just not going to go away. Metas will always last until they're nerfed to the ground.
Well, that's my
Fair
thing
enough.
about this, is that why not just like, and I get they don't want to fracture their audience, but just do what like Fortnite does. Be like, hey, Black Ops 6 is the new game,
weapons
right?
or something.
We're vaulting all the other bullshit,
Yeah.
and you've got to use this one, right? And maybe we'll make a list that says, hey, you can go old school, right? And they do. I mean, classic is a fucking fun term to throw around right now. So like, we're gonna do Modern Warfare Classic,
vanilla.
Yeah, vanilla.
We're gonna do Modern Warfare vanilla.
I agree.
We do
Your game's
Rocky
bugging
Road.
right now.
Yeah.
Your game's like not loading shit in. That's weird.
Yeah.
I agree, but it's also a little different with COD, just because unlike Fortnite, you're not like working up and leveling up guns and like actually working towards something. You're just picking guns up that's RNG based and all. But I do want there to be some sort of a way to separate the two, or the three titles there are in Warzone.
Right,
but
and it's only going to continue to get worse as they continue to build more and more and more on it. Like I just don't understand.
I hope there's a point where they do stop, like if they do another game on top of this, they'll be like, all right, guys, it's time. Modern Warfare 2, we're cycling it out. Now it's going to be this 3. Maybe that's it. Maybe they do 3 titles at a time. I don't know. It's still kind of a lot, but they can't do more than that.
Do you think maybe they could take like a page out of DICE's book with the way that they did Battlefield, the Portal? Remember Portal had like the private lobbies and everything like that?
Yeah,
that you could do.
I don't think that they would.
Think anyone's
going to
be
successful. Yeah. The thing about COD, like, and specifically, like, everybody wants to play the new shit, right? Like, it's never the old stuff. I mean, yes, we're talking about the old guns and all of that, but it's never. I don't know. Like, to me, the only thing that anybody cares about from the old stuff is, well, their skins, and they have that. Like Fortnite does it. You can still have old skins that come over. Like, I think that they legitimately should, and I hope that they do, just take Warzone and split it off to its own thing. Like, people that want to play Warzone, like, go have it. Like, it's Warzone. It's completely designed. Raven Software is the one that does this. And then like you were talking about the game bugging out, it brings you to the like next point of being like, the big problem here is that Raven Software and all of its subsidiaries are the ones that develop and do stuff for Warzone. But Black Ops and the named titles are done by either Treyarch or Infinity or whoever else, or not, it's not Infinity anymore, but whoever else is doing like those games. So you have like right now, there's terrible audio issues. There's bugging out issues because it's all trying to fit. Like Raven is trying to match up to what is the new system, but because it's built on such this other architecture and all this other kind of crap, like this is not even a new map. This is an old map. This is a map from a couple seasons ago. So it's like you're not building new stuff, like because you're beholden to the game that's coming out now. It's just like, why not just let that be its own thing? And that's fine, right? Because you're still gonna sell fucking millions and millions of copies of Call of Duty. Like people are still gonna buy Call of Duty, right? The regular edition, and then people are still gonna play Warzone. Like I just don't understand why not do that.
Well, there's
Warzone
is
free. That's one thing. Warzone is technically free.
Yeah, but you're gonna get all the sales out of the micro transactions and all that.
Oh yeah, speaking of the microtransactions, like so something that's being said in chat is like I don't know. I don't play these games. I fucking can't stand COD anymore. I haven't played a COD since COD 2. Do you think that they could, instead of like giving you access to all these guns, just make them skins instead? Like and just apply them to the new guns. If that's the case, are the new guns just basically reskinned old guns with a little bit better
there's
stats?
Some like you've got like the C9, which is technically the MP5, right? You've got the PP 919, which is technically the Bison, right? So yes, but they don't go back and like it's like if you technically went in, I could load up with the C9 from Black Ops 6, and then I could also load up as an MP5 from like Modern Warfare 2. The exact same gun, right? At least aesthetically, the way it looks. Now, the way it made stats right are going to be changed.
But that's what I'm saying is like you're saying you want to throw out the old guns, right? Like don't even worry about those old guns. You know, vault them, whatever they fucking call it these days, right? Vault those, so you're only using the new guns. But instead of vaulting them, like make them skins so you can still use them on the new guns. Just they look like a different style of gun.
I see what you're saying.
Well, yeah, at that point though, I would just say don't like it doesn't need to be attached to the new COD that's out, right? Like again, Warzone being its own entity, doing its own thing, making their own guns, bringing out whatever they want to, I think would benefit a fuck ton from like separating itself from COD. Like I do think that this one, like from the other ones I have played, the movement feels better. The gunplay when you're actually not having hit registration issues or anything like that, like is actually good. Like it actually feels good. Like the last one or the one
last
before
two
that
titles
felt like
they
shit.
were ass.
Yeah,
I completely agree. I was really hesitant on the Omni movement in this game, but so far, and this is like I know it's being totally taken advantage of by the cracked out like little Gen Zs that are just going crazy, the tweaker generation, but I actually think it feels really good. I'm enjoying it. It feels smooth and responsive, and even to a point, I'm getting a little like kind of nasty with it sometimes. Even at my old age compared to this new gen. I know I'm not old. I'm just saying I'm still out of date with this new fucking gen that's going into these games, man. It's crazy.
No, I mean,
the game Warzone is not bad. My only issue with Warzone, which I noticed as getting like higher up into skill-based matchmaking, the sound is non-existent sometimes when it comes to footsteps.
Well, you got to buy the $20 pack.
Yeah, see, that's what I've been hearing, and people have been saying to me, "Oh,
yes and no." It's I don't know. I think
I've been
it's all
able
a scam.
Like,
I don't
I've
think
been
it's.
able.
I was about to say, please tell me you didn't. Nobody here bought the $20 bag.
No,
of course, better audio.
It's a scam, dude.
I'm thinking about it. Just
do not, Tony. I will fucking boot you off this podcast. I'm a whale, bro, but I will fucking say I will
get you shadow banned.
I just want to test.
Tony, okay. No, just like I wanted to test out the way that the skins looked in Diablo and all the mounts looked in Diablo too. I wanted to test those out too. It was for research.
Just look up a YouTube video of the comparison. I know they're not going to be you can't totally hear it because it's like it's supposed to be personalized to your your own ear. So whoever makes it's personalized to their ear, but still there's no difference. There's none.
It is the thing about this game is it's still like, that's why I'm saying like it needs to split, because you're hearing audio from across the map. Like you're hearing people talk from across the map. The footsteps are, like you said, non-existent. Now I have gone in and figured out ways that you can go in and tweak shit. Like, you're actually able to turn hurts and all this other kind of stuff. Turn on Sucker Punch. Turn on like all this other kind of crap.
Yeah, I've turned off the proc jack because it's so annoying and it's so far now. I don't know why.
It doesn't do anything. Yeah. But anyway, I don't know, man. I mean, I have played Resurgence. I like Resurgence. I like this map.
The new map is chaotic, Area 99, but I really do like it.
I think it's better than Ashika Island.
I liked Ashika too.
I did not. I did not like Ashika at all. I thought it was.
But I don't know. I aesthetically, I really do like Area 99. It's a pretty fun and cool map dynamically. It's got some different like variations to it. Some like integration with the map and mechanics. Nuketown. It's cool. Yeah. I guess tomorrow they're releasing Rebirth Island. And I've never actually experienced Rebirth, but people say that was like one of the best maps for Resurgence. So I'll give that a shot. But I
mean, look.
No, I mean overall, I'm enjoying. Resurgence again. I always liked Resurgence more than Warzone.
It's COD. It's COD. If you've played COD, it's COD. I mean, they added some new stuff. It's Warzone. If you liked it, you're gonna like it. If you didn't like it, you're still not gonna like it. Or if you were on the fence about it, maybe you'll like it. But if you hated it,
if you didn't like the previous two CODs, give this one a try because I can definitely tell you it's better than the previous two. I was glazing Modern Warfare 2. Man, that game is ass. I'm sorry.
There's still
at the time I was like, it's
of stuff to learn. Like it's I don't know. So
especially now, I mean, if you're coming into it not playing the previous two, you have to learn with Warzone all like the previous two mechanics and utilities and all that bullshit.
Yeah. So. All right. Well, we're done with the COD talk. Let's talk. Let's now bring up a game, at least another game that I'm hoping that everybody will talk about. I'm excited about. Bill, you like MMOs. Enigma, I know that you like MMOs. Tony, the court's still out. I don't know if you like MMOs or not. I haven't figured it out yet. You say you do, but I've never seen you. I've never seen you.
It eats into his Fortnite playing time.
No. I played Black Desert until my equipment broke.
Okay.
And I played
this game
I played Lost Ark.
Really may pique your interest. So whalers are gonna whale, right? Like that is the term. Whalers are gonna whale. And I right here, I whaled. Okay.
This guy down there.
I whaled $120. I hope to God my wife can't hear me. But I whaled $120 for this game. And the game that we are talking about right now is Ashes of Creation. Okay. So
Ashes of Creation.
It's not.
Yeah, I asked you too, like, because I wanted to know. I was like, how much did it take to get into this? I'm like, if he got into it, maybe I'll buy it. And then you said that, I was like, oh hell no. I turned the stream off after that. Like,
let me make it very clear, right? So what this is, first and foremost, because there is some misinformation, there's a lot of stuff that's kind of out there or whatever else, and they've gotten themselves in trouble with certain things, right? Because of this. So initially, the Ashes of Creation, if you're unfamiliar, is an MMO RPG that it's been in development for about 8 years now. From Intrepid Studios. It is personally funded.
Getting close to that 10-year mark.
It's getting close. It's privately funded. It's privately developed. They're self-published, self-devved. And they've been very much in the public eye about their creation, what they're doing, like how they're building, like all of that kind of stuff. And that can be good, that can be bad. So before, this game was very, very close knit. Like it was NDA'd, like you could possibly get into it because it started on Kickstarter and then with certain bundle packs that did very much of the Star Citizen route that went up into the couple thousands of dollars. You could get into these like pre alpha phases or whatever. So, fast forward several years, right? And now we are at kind of this point where it is $120. You get into the alpha, the alpha phase 2, which is what this is right now, where it's open every single weekend. This launched back in, I believe, October. I think October 5th. If you're an Ashes, fan, don't quote me on that. But it started, I think, in October. And they ran it for every weekend, and then they're going to extend this into December, where you will then be open 5 days a week, closed down for 2 days, all the way up until May. And then at May, it will be open 24/7. Now, I do want to preface also, okay, this is an alpha fucking game. Like, this is alpha as alpha gets. It is very still like you've got a lot of this is not the game causing this. This is something going on with the internet. I don't know what's going on.
I was like, oh, it really is alpha.
And anyway, I don't let me bring it down from 4K. But in any case,
slight flex right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna let this load. I don't know what this is doing. There we go. Okay, it loaded back up. All right. So it is very, very much alpha. But here's the thing. You said Black Desert Online, right? And I've gotten a lot of people that have been like, oh, like, is this game good? Like, are pissed off about the questing, pissed off about this. This is not your WoWs. This is not your Final Fantasies. This is a sandbox MMO. This is an MMO that you get more experience, more shit done from going out, finding a grind spot, grinding with through mobs, exploring the world, doing like your crafting stuff. This is not a game that if you are expecting like WoW, where you're going to go and find a quest and you get that quest and then you're going to go and do another quest and you're just going to quest yourself up to max level. That's not how this works. This is very much like the BDOs, the fucking like Throne and Liberty is actually theme parky. Like this is not those games. Or that type of game. But what I will say is that the combat in this game is so much fucking fun. Like
I was gonna say it looks
so
really
good.
Smooth and connecting. Like
it
your
is,
hits
man.
actually connect, which
yes.
You don't see too much in MMOs of this style.
It is a like one of the things I think Throne and Liberty suffered so much from, which they tried to lean in so heavily on, was like the combat. And I actually think the combat system in Throne and Liberty is one of the worst aspects of that game. And like this game, like they do a combination of action and target combat or tab targeting combat. But like all of your characters play off one another really, really well. So like as I played as they have like 6 character choices that I think are classes you can choose from. I'm playing as a alpha. I'm telling you, it's alpha, bro. I'm stuck on something invisible. I'm playing as a oh my god, why am I blanking on the name? Cleric. Thank you. But like you, even right out of the gate, they teach you like the whole like system of where you stack your abilities on something. So you go in here and I cast one ability, and then like it sets up the opponent to be hit from something else. So then I could cast like Devotion, which is a big AoE that causes like conflagration, which then I attack with Smite, and it adds another type of ability. Then if I go up and I whack them with my like melee weapon, it does an additional stack that then preps up like if a mage or a bard comes in, they can do something on top of that.
So it's got a lot of like, comboing and whatnot. Yeah,
yes,
that's cool.
And it's you have a dodge mechanic, you've got block mechanics. You're kind of seeing there. It really like, and it. I will also say that the game is open world PvP. So like this game is a PvP based MMO. Obviously, I am going to fucking have a blast with that.
Did you get to experience any? Or is it in this
Actually, I think
nice.
on this stream, if you want to go back and watch it, it's on my my YouTube or my Twitch page. You can go back and watch it. Yeah, there was a guy that we were farming right here in this little zone for things, and guy comes up and I'm like, what the fuck are these like two little, like an idiot, like I've never played a fucking MMO in my life. I'm like, what the fuck are these two like cross swords on his name? Like, what the fuck is that? And my dumbass, and all of a sudden I just see him, like he's a fighter, so he's just like running in. I'm like, huh, that's weird, and then just goes whack 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 whack. It just starts like, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm fucking dying. Luckily I was a cleric, so I was able to heal myself through it. Yeah, it is a more, but they have a really dope system that I'm not going to talk about on the show because it's super in depth on how they're like kind of combating this because somebody can basically flag up and then they can attack anybody they want. It's not like New World. New World, you both had to be flagged. This one person flags and then they attack. And then
the thing that I found weird was when that PvPer was going, like he could attack you, but you couldn't attack him without flagging.
So I that was a situation, that was a bug. That was some kind of weird.
Or was
bug.
that a bug? Okay,
that was a bug.
Yeah, because I was like, why the fuck would they make it so that a PvPer can attack you while being flagged, but you can't attack them back without being flagged?
Yeah,
that just
that was a bug. And in chat, it's being asked about griefing. So you're right. Like PvP, always on PvP can lead to griefing, but they have a system that I really, 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 really like. That basically, and again, I don't want to go super in depth, but here's what I'll give you a small piece. Essentially, that if you flag up and you attack another person, and they don't attack you back, and you're essentially griefing, right? You earn stacks. The higher your stacks go, the more damage that you take, the less damage you do. And then on top of that, once you stack up 2 or 3 of these things, you start dropping gear. So like when you're dead and you die, I can go up and loot your gear from you. And each time it gets higher and higher, the more and more gear that you're dropping. And then the longer it takes for this debuff to go away. And the only way to get that debuff to go away.
So essentially, they have a banditry system like Arcade had.
Yes,
where not necessarily like it. The more stacks you had, the more damage you take or whatever or whatnot. But like in Arcade, they had like a very specific, like if you wanted to go full blown down the PvP route, you could just go and join the pirate faction, and you were just flagged to everybody essentially.
Yes,
but now if they do attack you back, you don't gain those stacks.
If they choose to go back and attack, if they choose to engage in that, and engage in that is not healing themselves, engaging that is actually attacking you, then that goes away. Like you said, hey, we're in, like I'm in it, right?
Yeah, we're fighting.
You know, and that stops people from, I mean, it deters people from doing stuff like it outside of Asmongold, because I know one of the things that's also being talked about is the Asmongold drama. Outside of that, right? It seems to work, right?
What's wrong
like
with Asmongold?
There was a big situation where like Asmongold came in, and then basically people were just sitting there farming him like left and right, just killing him as soon as he's online. You know, and wasn't letting him to the point that literally the creator Steven came in and had to give a message out and said, quit it. If you don't quit, then we're gonna basically ban you. And they did. They banned people that were doing it.
That's good, because that's stream sniping, and that's no fun. I mean, that's not organic.
I mean, at that point,
right?
like you're like there's 2 camps, right? There's like arguing, saying that hey, it's part of the game, it's griefing, like you shouldn't do that. The other part of that is saying like, hey, like you know.
Yeah, but and this is weird for me, because like usually I would be on the side of that's griefing, but like that's a fucking mechanic in your game, and you're banning people for it.
That's horseshit. I'm actually not cool with that at all, especially if they're spending $120 on your pre-alpha.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I'm like, what?
But again, they choose to stream snipe, and I don't know. To me, that's
that he's doing this shit on purpose.
Organic.
That he like. Asmongold doesn't give a fuck if he's getting griefed. He's making money off of it. That's gonna be an outrageous title that he can put on a video and make bukus of bucks on. He doesn't give a fuck. So why are they ruining the normal person's $120 game account by banning them just for wanting to have some fun in a community event, basically?
Okay, so here's my thing, right? So I understand that. I understand your aspect of it. I understand taking that, but I also understand too that like the mechanic is there for a reason, right? And it's always on PvP, but at this point, you're going in and you are purposely going to a situation to stop somebody from enjoying it. It wasn't like he was out here questing. He's level 25 and he's in the level 1 zone. Like he's literally going in and just getting fucked over before he can even get out of the thing over and over and over. And that's like
I think there's a lot better ways that they could have taken care of that rather than fucking banning people.
I mean, they gave multiple warnings. Like it was like, hey, leave him alone. Like you need to quit.
Regardless if they gave him warnings, again, the players were simply taking advantage of fucking a system in the game. You can't punish somebody. You can't ban somebody for taking advantage of a system in your game.
Yeah, but
if they don't want people to be doing that kind of shit, they
systems out of the game, you know, to know where he's at and everything, and watch where he's at on the stream. I don't know. I'm on the fence. So I think definitely the ban route was a bit severe, with warnings,
especially
and everything.
for $120 fucking
that's the
access.
Big thing. Yeah,
that's
you're
ridiculous.
Buying into this. Your players are buying into this. Don't ban them for doing something like this. I mean, just time them out for a few weekends,
technically,
few play tests.
Technically, if you want to go down that route, take it as constructive criticism and be like, hey, maybe we should work on a system that makes it so that people can't fucking do this.
PP predicts they're gonna have
crazy.
Like by the time this game fully releases, it'll just be flagged PvP.
Probably more than
I don't think so, because he likes like the developer and whatever else loves like Lineage. He loves Arcade. He loves RuneScape. He loves.
And they need to come up with a better system.
Yeah,
this system right now is trash.
I think that here's the thing. I think
it's always on PvP,
works,
but it's also you get punished for the always on PvP. Like there's no incentive to always on PvP.
But I mean, there is again, it is a game of, you know, it's certain spots, certain, you know, areas that I want to defend. Like there's a lot of guild heavy like elements to it.
What do you get out of like killing somebody who's not flagged?
That's not flagged. So yeah, you get experience. You're getting
you loot anything from them, like their resources they don't lose or something.
If they don't flag, yeah, they don't
lose resources, gear,
no,
nothing.
they lose XP, right? So they get an XP debuff that they have to earn back. No, not
I'd rather lose my resources than my XP.
But like here's my thing. The system, for the most part, from what I've seen, has worked, right? This instance with Asmongold is a very microcosmic instance.
Well, what do you define as worked?
I mean, I'm not seeing, like, I've been playing this game for the last 2.5 weekends. I've probably dumped well over, I would say close to 20 hours into it. And outside of the one instance that I've had where somebody came into this area and, wanted to try to do something, and then we just kind of all nuked him the fuck down. That's it. Like, I've not seen this open world, like everybody's just gangbanging each other, trying to fucking be a dick or whatever. I mean,
will. Eventually.
You have to realize though, what you're saying, you haven't seen that because every lowdown dude is not willing to pay.
Yeah, they're not willing to pay $120.
So when it opens up to everybody and you get all of the 100% out there, they will get on here and grief
we kind of mentioned ArcAge. ArcAge had a lot of that's kind of situation going on, right? Like later on down the road when everybody started to finally kind of run out of things to do. Yeah, 100%. It turned into Gangfest in low areas. The good thing about ArcAge though was that like they had systems in place, like protection systems in place for like newer players, right? You couldn't necessarily PvP players in the newbie zone as they were coming into the game and kind of learning how to play the game.
I think that's something already
that might be what that's what I was gonna say. Yeah. That might be what they want to look at. Like I get where you're coming from, where they want to keep the open world PvP and everything like that, but like it'll just like Tony just said, the only reason why you're not seeing rampant versions of it is because nobody wants to pay $120 for your fucking game at this moment.
Or like what we're seeing in chat, any big streamer that hops on here is just going to get griefed into oblivion whenever they try to play it. Like,
I mean,
this isn't going to be exclusively an Asmongold problem. This is going to be any like medium to large streamer that hops on is just going to be, it's.
I mean, look, I agree. I can also counterpoint that argument and say, hey, at that point, you're going to have, the Asmongold, whatever they're called, the Bald Brigade or whatever their fucking names are going to, or his community is, like, create a guild and go after them, right? And stop it. I'm not, again,
they're going to be the ones doing it. What are you talking about?
I'm not disagreeing that maybe the system won't work. What
you can't get away with this kind of a system in the modern day and age, I don't think. I think with how popular streaming is and how it just needs to be done better.
It's a bit loose on the rules right now. It's kind of.
I think they'll go to flagged only. If
I hope not. I really hope not. I do not. As a PvPer, as someone that absolutely thoroughly fucking enjoys open world PvP, I want that risk. I want that, like, all of that element there. Like, this is hitting on the dopamine sections in my brain that I absolutely love. Like, I loved WildStar, and if this game fucking hits and can come out, and obviously it still has a lot of work to do. But it comes out, I'm telling you right now, like, this has a chance to fucking be something dominant, and I really do not want them to turn on a fucking flag on, flag off, because in a game that is a PvP based game, and I get it, this might not be your cup of tea, Bill, or whoever, or anybody else's cup of tea that may not like
Dark
PvP,
Souls. I like Invasions. Right? I have no issues with it. I'm just saying that if in an MMO format, this is the current system is not going to promote a healthy community. It's going to run off a lot of new players, and it's going to promote more toxic gameplay loops than I think it will positive gameplay loops.
I mean, so my thing is, you said that if somebody attacks you, right, as a PvPer, if they attack you and you don't engage, then you're fine.
Right.
Correct?
No,
Correct.
You'll die.
You'll die. Yeah, I mean, you still have to, like, defend yourself in the sense of, like, healing yourself.
If you're gonna die, so what's the purpose in somebody who's fairly new, right, to come into your game, and then somebody who just wants to be an asshole just keep on murdering you that's higher level than you? What's stopping that?
Because at the point, if they keep doing that, right? At the point that, so one, keep in mind,
the answer is you'll get banned.
That's no, it's not. Keep in mind that in a town there's still guards out throughout the area. There are there's like NPC guards running around that will like go and damage. Well, when you're talking about like over and over and over again, right? As you're getting these stacks, right? You're gonna, let's just say maxed out right now level is 25. A 25 player person that has 6 stacks of this shit on them, right? And also too,
how many times do you have to kill somebody before you get a stack?
1. So
okay.
you
kill. Let's say the pre-patch podcast decides we want to go into Ashes of Creation, start ganking people. We can kill people 15-20 times before like we get any kind of like serious.
No. So you're getting, as you get those stacks, you're immediately feeling the effects, right? So like your first stack's immediately 10% less damage, 10% more damage taken, 10% less healing, 10% less effectiveness across the board.
But we're in a group.
It doesn't matter. What I'm saying is that so you yourself, like if I engage with somebody, let's say Sin goes out there and does the warden thing, and I will fucking engage with anybody, right? If you decide to jump in and help by healing me or any of that kind of shit, you are now also engaged in that system. Now you are turned on, you're flagged, like you are part of it. It is what it is. Like you are accepting that.
So if all 5 of us kill one person, we all get a stack.
We all get a stack.
Okay, so with that, I can see that being better. Like, if I'm understanding this correctly, once that stack is on and you're doing 10% less damage, and there you're taking 20% or 15%, whatever the percentage is, more damage. At this point, what you're trying to say is it would behoove the person who's doing the PvP and that the other person doesn't want to do to stop, because if he kills you now, he can take all your loot off of your body.
Yeah, he could take your gear. And like people in chat that are saying, oh, what happens if like they just want to put on craftable gear? Absolutely. But guess what? As a level 1 player or as a level 2 or whatever else, anything you drop, if you craft or whatever, that's great for me. Like, great, I'll take your fucking gear because you're not going to survive forever. And that stack is going to stay on there. And it takes like, I think that the person that really tested this out, I need to go look at his name. It's Crix something. But he tested it out. He got max stacks. And it took 2 hours of grinding to get 1 stack away, or you have to die. When you die, 1 stack falls off. So it
so they don't all fall off.
So what's stopping your friend from killing you and clearing your stacks?
What do you mean?
What's stop, like if we're in a group, you've got 20 stacks, I've got 20 stacks, right? And you said it clears on death.
He kills you 6
and it
times
says you clears on death. Yeah. What's stopping us?
It only clears 1 stack on death. So 1 stack.
Either way.
Again,
so then we go someplace else. I go kill you 20 times. You do the same thing for me. We're back down to 0 stacks. Let's get back in there, baby. Let's go.
As long as
because if you're engaging in consensual, sounds weird, but if you're engaging in consensual PvP,
there is no consensual
the stacks
PvP
don't go,
if it's not a full flag.
The stacks don't go away. So if it's consensual PvP like that, stacks don't leave. So you can't in your situation. You're just transferring the stack from you to now me, because you would essentially have to be unflagged. I would have to be flagged. I then attack you, and then you die, and now I get the stack.
So no matter what, if you have 20 stacks and somebody goes like some fucking white knight goes out to kill you, he's now going to get stacks.
If he goes and attacks me unprovoked.
Terrible system.
Why?
What? That makes no fucking sense. So there is literally no reason to go and PvP somebody at that point.
If they're not flagged.
If you're unflagged,
that's what I'm saying.
Then
so you're stating
that
there's a person out there with 20 stacks.
Yes.
Does like mark them on the fucking map or anything like that? Does it?
Yes.
Okay. So what's the reason to fucking go and kill them?
So if
to get their gear
and you kill them,
you're going to get the stacks.
Because they have that stack, they're flagged. Like they have the stack.
You can kill them without impunity.
Right. You're not going to get the problem.
But that's what I'm saying is what's stopping somebody from getting on an alt or getting on another character that doesn't necessarily fucking PvP, right? Mm-hmm. going and killing that guy that has 20 stacks. His stacks are gone now. Good to go.
Because it doesn't delete all of his stacks. It only deletes one stack at a time.
Right, but he could do it 6 times.
That's what you can do. Six times, right?
You essentially, yes, you could, but you're also, again, you're still at, I mean,
the system is flawed. I'm sorry. This system is flawed extremely.
Maybe again, I'm not the fucking end all be all on it. I've got, but I'm just saying from what I have seen, and again, yes, you're right. We have not released this to the degenerate masses that are out there, right?
There's
I'm sure there's loopholes.
His system is extremely flawed. They need to work on it.
I don't think it's extremely flawed.
And they shouldn't be banning people for taking advantage of the flawed fucking system. Fix your fucking system and then start banning people.
I disagree with that. And the last thing we'll say on this before we move, because I do want to, we have a lot of other stuff to talk about, but things that are being said in chat, like what about all this is going to do is create situations where you're going to be blocking somebody off from farming spots or whatever else. That's what this game, I mean, this is not the first game to do this. There is not the last game that's going to do this. There are games like BDO. There are games like Arcades. There are games like Lineage.
Yeah, but BDO did their fucking system better.
What I'm saying though is that the system exists about, like, that's what the purpose of this is being like, hey, like, it is about holding nodes. This is a PvP game. If PvP is not your thing, don't play this game. Like, that's not what like, this is a PvP based game. Like, it just is. And yeah, maybe that's good. That is going to turn off people, but it's also this is gonna sound right. It's gonna turn people on. Like, it's
consensual.
It'll be niche.
It's consensual.
It'll be just as niche as every other PvP only game out there. Unfortunately,
I think that I would just say, obviously you can't just try it right now. If they give you a free weekend, go and try it. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, $120 is fucking
no, absolutely.
Shit.
I'm enjoying the shit out of it. I have not enjoyed an MMO like this in such a fucking long time. I literally
New World.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed New World. That's still a long time ago. I mean, that's fucking New World's almost 4 years old now. Like, it's and that system, that was fun for a while. And I hope that this game is more than New World, but I think that the game has a lot of promise.
Looks pretty.
Yeah, I mean, the game.
I was going to say the
pretty.
aesthetics of it looks very nice.
It feels good. There's a couple different issues here and there, like you're seeing on screen now with a little bit. Obviously, that's just normal shit that you would see, but like the team is responsive. I don't know, man. It's I'm having fun with it. It's something to keep your eyes on, man. So, but
it's almost giving me like Divinity, like Original Sin, if it was an MMO, like that. The aesthetics of it, I really dig it too. It looks really pretty.
So
yeah, the only difference is they didn't triple charge for the early access to it.
Bill is just going at it.
I mean, it reminds me very heavily of Arcade for sure. Like the graphics and the play style look a lot like Arcade, and that's not a bad thing. Arcade was an extremely fun game. So
I hope they can figure their shit out, because I am looking forward to this one, and I'm hoping that it definitely.
They'll just make it a flag on PvP system if they want the game to actually be successful.
I think they might need to. Honestly, I don't know. I know how much you want it in, but.
I'm just hoping that they unban the people that paid $120 for the fucking
they're gonna
game
get banned. Like, I'm sure that they will. I have no doubt.
That's ridiculous.
The ban is crazy. They should have just maybe timed them out for like a weekend or two.
Like I get like they warned them, but like you're warning gamers. The only thing that's gonna get you is, I'm just gonna do it even more because you told me not to do it. Like, welcome to gaming.
I don't know.
Sounds about right.
I don't have an issue with it necessarily, but I do think that they will probably get their accounts back. I seriously doubt that they're going to keep them permanently.
I would hope so.
So, but anyway, that is Ashes of Creation. We will talk more about it as the game continues to come out and all of that kind of good stuff. So keep your eye on it. I'm having a fucking blast. And if you do plan on playing it, you do plan on paying $120 and getting in, please let me know. Like, please let me know, because I would love people to play with. This
I can't
is
wait
very
for the open
heavy.
beta in like 5 years.
In like another 7 years. Yeah.
Right.
Definitely. Please let me know. So, all right. You guys ready to talk about some news? Got a lot of news to cover.
Yeah.
Let's go. All right. So the first thing we were going to talk about is actually not originally what was on here. Actually, the first thing we were going to talk about was going to be Overwatch, but then Jeff Keighley decided that Jeff Keighley wanted to do Jeff Keighley things and make this whole entire show be about the Game Awards. The whole show is not about the Game Awards. Please don't sue us or fucking copyright strike us, Jeff Keighley, because we used Game Awards. But the Game Awards. There has been some drama that's kind of come out, and if you're unfamiliar, the Game Awards is in 2-3 weeks, I think, right?
No,
I'm not mistaken.
December 12th. It's like 4 or
4
5
weeks.
out.
Okay,
I know
so
nominees come out tomorrow, I believe.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
So noms come out tomorrow, but this essentially is a it's the end of the year where games are up for awards and they get basically the game of the year, right? It's kind of the most recognized one. There's a bunch of other ones that are out there. But there's some drama with it. And the first drama that comes to mind here is around the award process. And specifically, I want to talk about two things, right? So one is right down here, which is early access. Are early access games eligible for nomination? I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me see if I can actually get this to come up better here. Let's just make it a little bit bigger, maybe. I don't know, but if you can't, I will read it to you guys. So it says, yes, any game available for public.
I didn't see that.
Public consumption by the deadline is eligible for potential nomination. It's up to the jury to decide if the title warrants a nomination for creative and or technical excellence in a given year.
So does that mean the Monster Hunter Wilds demo is up for Game of the Year this year?
I don't think it's early access. It's not
early access is different than like alpha or play tests.
It says any available or any game available to public consume by deadline is eligible for potential nomination. That is a game that was available for consumption.
That's a demo. That's not early access.
That's still they're talking only early access titles.
DLC.
Yeah, it
could be. It's expansion packs, maybe.
No, shut up. Sit down. No, absolutely.
To be honest,
not.
I whatever about this because to me, early access now is just a stamp on games that developers use in a lot of cases just to get people into a game that is already going to release and just say there's going to be problems with it, so we're just going to put early access on there so we don't, it's a scapegoat. Now.
That's not entirely true though, because there are a lot of instances where games go into early access and then never release.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So didn't Project Zomboid stay in early access for fucking
ever? For a long time. So did 7 Days to Die.
It's a scapegoat tag now. That's all. It didn't used to be. People actually used it to raise money for development of games. Now it's we can put that on there and we can get away with having a shit quality game.
But should we reward that with a Game of the Year title?
Well, I don't know. I'm indifferent because it's just so many games put it on there now. It's really, I don't know, man. It's weird.
Here's the problem that I have with this, right? Two things, and they mention it very clearly in this block of text. One, if you're a game developer, so let's take No More Room in Hell 2, right? Game launched in early access as an abysmal, buggy piece of shit, right? Yep. Does that now take them out of the running to be, whenever they decide to go to 1.0, that can they not receive an award? Can they not be considered this game is now launched, it's finally done, we can be considered for Game of the Year? Should they be in it? And this is where the bigger problem that I have with all of this is that the people that are making the decision is a jury. It used to be and should be based off of the fans. It should be based off of what does the public feel, not
and it's a jury of biased fucking journalists,
right? You're not we don't get to vote who's on the fucking jury. We don't get to vote anything about it.
Not who's on the jury. Yeah, we get 10% of our game. The gamers' vote goes towards 10% of the decision making.
Yeah, that's like saying the presidency is based off the popular fucking.
It's ridiculous.
That's fucking stupid.
Yeah. I totally am clear now. I think early access games should be eligible because if they come out and they want to come out in an early access state and come out with a piece of shit, like No More Room in Hell, they should be eligible for Game of the Year because they're not going to be voted because they came out early access, but they don't get that opportunity a second time when they go full release.
Yeah, but that's the problem. I bet you will. I guarantee. Mark my words.
That's bullshit.
You'll have.
Yeah, if they do, that's bullshit. But I would rather them come out, be like, yeah, we want to come out early access, and we know our game's crap. And so what? Then you're just not going to get a Game of the Year.
I hard disagree with you on that one. I'm sorry. I hard disagree. If they are not willing to release their game and they want it to be released in early access, they should not be in contention for a game of the year. No
But
matter how hard, no matter how good it was.
Then when they go full access, should they be?
Yeah, 100%. Once it releases fully, yeah.
You guys are saying the same thing, but what Scruffy is saying is basically saying like, hey, what you're saying is that if
he's saying that game of the year, that he should be able to be game of the year as an early access title.
But he's saying it's a deterrent. It should be a deterrent.
Yeah,
right. It's like, so you guys are in a way you're going around.
We're kind of saying the same thing, but
because
not.
It's a deterrent. Scruffy is saying it's a deterrent to if you go into early access and you get nominated for Game of the Year, it should be looked at as a deterrent and should make game studios be like, hey, wait a minute, if we go early access and the game is dog shit, we're not going to be we're not going to be nominated. But if we are nominated, we now lose our ability to win a game award fucking 18 years down the road whenever we full launch 1.0.
If they want to go,
the problem is that that's never going to happen. Like the committee will never. They're going to let both of them fucking stand. It doesn't.
That's the problem with the Game Awards, because if that's the case, then it's bullshit and it's rigged.
So I know we was talking about that, but this whole DLCs and remakes.
We're on our next. That's the next one. So
we're good.
Yeah. So you brought it up, Tony. On here, the Game Awards basically is saying that DLC remakes, expansion packs, remasters are all now eligible for these Game of the Year editions. Bill, I'd love to know, because you're a fan of remasters. I'm a fan of remakes and remasters as well. What do you think about this?
I'm a fan, but I don't think DLCs should be put into DLCs, or for that matter. Let's say, for instance, we'll bring up the elephant in the room. We'll bring up Elden Ring. Elden Ring deserved to be Game of the Year. I get it. Elden Ring deserved the Game of the Year. But to have a DLC come up and then try to, from the same game, be Game of the Year again, it's just that's a no bueno. It doesn't sit right for other game companies.
What was the case that happened?
Hold on one second. Hold on one second. I want to know what Bill thinks, because he like Tony hit specifically on a game that Bill fucking has molded his entire a big part of his fucking gaming persona around is the Souls. Like Bill
might have the Elden Ring.
What is your thoughts?
As far as DLCs go, it's a no. But we've already had DLCs win categories in the past, so that's
very true, and that should not happen.
Categories I'm fine with. Like category, no. If it's like best ongoing, I'm fine with that. Like that's
it's not best ongoing. Witcher 3 Blood and Wine won best RPG.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't agree with that.
What they need,
Cyberpunk, whatever it's the DLC for Cyberpunk won its category.
Yeah, which should not have.
It's very subjective, but there's a simple fix to it. Just add a DLC category.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's it. I said last year. I
said the same thing.
Yeah, I said last year that I don't feel like a remake should be nominated for Game of the Year. I understand where you're coming from. I get it. Like if it's a completely different game and it's new, like the Silent Hill, the remake for Silent Hill having new content in it, right? Like that's great and everything like that. But like if you want to nominate that kind of shit, make its own category. Make a remakes and remaster category. Like it shouldn't be game.
A little more leniency with remakes compared to remasters, but it's still I don't.
It's still the same thing.
I disagree because
same but different. It's
get the fuck out of here, bro. Interview same but different. I'm sorry, but I disagree on that because
fucking reply.
Look at
it's kind of the same thing, but it's kind of not.
You need to watch the interview, Enigma. Please go watch the interview if you've not seen it. Because like Bill played Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth and all that. Those are complete, like, yes, the storyline, the story beats, but those are completely different games. Like they're not the same game.
Those aren't a good comparison because they actually are different games.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but by Enigma standard, he's saying
like meta style, like it is not like it's not comparable to the original Final Fantasy VII because they are changing the story. They are changing actual crucial aspects. It is more of a sequel to those games than it is like a remake.
So make it a sequel.
It is.
I don't. but they're naming it as a remake or a remaster.
There is some gray area to that too, because technically, if you want to make a remaster of a game but then call it a remake just to get into the Game of the Year category, that's also gray area right there. So I don't know. I kind of go back and forth. Maybe really, yeah. There should just be its own category again.
I think the reason they didn't make a category for it, there would be either one or two things: an influx of developers trying to make a game, remake a game, or remaster a game just to get into that category, or for that matter, you have one game that was remade. Let's say for Silent Hill was the only game this year that was remade, it automatically wins the category.
So my question is, right, because they remake or they remade or they remaster. I can never fucking get it. Which one? What did they do with Ilaoi or whatever her name is, the fucking robot dinosaur?
Horizon.
Bullshit.
Oh, Horizon.
Yeah, Horizon.
That was
Didn't they do a
remaster?
So do you think that Horizon remaster should be in Game of the Year?
No. Just like Last of Us remasters, just like any of other remasters. Remasters are just high fidelity quad.
It's such a slippery slope going down it, because like you said, Tony, eventually game companies will go, well, why the fuck should we make new games when we can literally just remaster or remake these old games? Get in fucking Game of the Year, and hundreds upon thousands of people will fucking
and alone too, and to go back to like the whole remake situation too, like I was saying, they could just remaster a game and change like 1% of that game, and then boom, it's a remake now.
Well, they could do the same thing that they did with Silent Hill, where they added 20 hour, whatever, how many hours, 15 hours worth of new content. Be like, well, technically it's new, right?
Yeah, where's that line between how much, like, because I agree, like in some aspect, if you add enough new content to a game and change like story aspects to an old title, I think that would be sufficient to be called a remake. But if you just up-res a game and make the quality better, keep the same story and aspects, so then it's a remaster. So where's that line between remaster and remake? Where's that?
That's the problem. Exactly. That goalpost will constantly move. There is no line.
And that's why I think there's too much gray area to make it eligible to be nominated for a Game of the Year.
So my question for you, Bill, is like, what is a remaster that you feel was worth the Game of the Year?
None.
Like, is
remasters are shit.
Or a remake, whatever you
remake.
Remaster, remake. Was there a remake that came out this year or last year that you feel was worthy of a Game of the Year?
Like, what about Resident Evil 4?
Not a Game of the Year necessarily, but like a category. Resident Evil 4, yes. Dead Space, yes. Like the build from the ground ups, yes. I feel like
and see. Like, I'm not arguing with you. Like, 100% they should be a category. Like, they should have their own category.
Recognized for something, but not Game of the Year. They should be recognized for something, but not.
Question,
Game of the Year,
Bill, do you think that you think that Final Fantasy VII, because like you said, it's more of a sequel? Do you think they maybe in this again, this nuanced fucking nebula that Jeff Keighley has created, like the name remake should not have been attached to that, and it should have just been like Final Fantasy, like they did with Rebirth. Like they did Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, right? Like they changed it there. Do you think they should have maybe done a different name to it, or do you think that
the name's meta and appropriate because it's remaking the Final Fantasy VII timeline? Like, it is an in-game, like, yes, people whenever they first saw it thought it was going to be a 1-for-1 rescale of the original Final Fantasy VII plot, and it's not. It's a remake of the timeline. It is, and it all affects a sequel to that original timeline. So
maybe
the naming convention is confusing as hell. Yeah, but it is a completely new game.
The game truly is a remake. Like,
so again, my only argument to that is like the only reason why I can't say the only reason why, but like in my eyes, the reason why they said Final Fantasy VII remake was to make sure that they got those nostalgia fucking buys. Why didn't they just say, hey, it's Final Fantasy VII, A Realm Reborn? Whatever you want to call it, right? Why didn't they just make an entirely new franchise or an entirely new game out of it? They wanted to lean on that Final Fantasy VII.
I think they could have done it though with just Final Fantasy VII. I think that the point here, because we spent a good amount of time on this specific thing. I think that the point here is, one, I think companies need to stop using remake, remaster in titles and shit. Like, I don't think that it should be named, XYZ remake, XYZ remaster, whatever else. Just like Silent Hill 2 is Silent Hill 2, and Dead Space is Dead Space, and go that route and whatever. I don't think that Silent Hill 2 should be included in any of this shit. Yes, they added a bunch of content.
It will.
It's not. Oh, I'm sure. Well, it should. I'm sure it will. It's fine, but it's not fine. It's a good game. It shouldn't not be in one of these titles. And I don't think that if they're gonna add categories, for fuck's sake, take out the esports bullshit. This is not the esports awards. This is not the esports team shit. Nobody cares about that kind of stuff within the scope of the game awards.
I think adding a new category for remakes and remasters is perfectly fine.
I don't know if there's enough
for the last 2 years. I mean, even if there's not enough, like that, the problem is that again, it's a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope. Once these companies are seeing like the Silent Hill 2 remake, it did really well. You know, I'm sure that the fucking the Horizon remake will do amazingly well. You're gonna start seeing Sony remaster, whatever. It's the same fucking thing.
It really is.
I think there's enough. Either way, we're going down this generation of so many remasters and remakes too.
Either way you look at it, more companies will latch onto that, and the companies that already latched onto that will continue to do it and continue to remaster and remake these franchises. You're going to see more and more of these coming throughout the years.
For sure.
It's just going to happen. We've already seen it.
We're gonna move on, but I want to give the final word to each person to kind of give their final thoughts. So, Scruff, what's your final thoughts on this?
Add new categories for DLCs and remakes and remasters separately. And DLCs and remakes and remasters should not be nominated for Game of the Year, no matter what.
And Tony?
I agree with everything that man just said. He said it better than I would.
Who's that man? You're Scruffy. All right, cool. Okay. All right. Scruffy's a boy. I just want to make sure that's well known.
I'm a man.
He's not a man yet. You can't until you grow that little dirt patch in the middle of your lip. You're not a man, bro.
He dropped his voice. I'm a man.
And Bill, what's your final thoughts? And I actually have an additional question for you on this one to add in. Is remake remaster? You said that there was a difference. I'd like to know, kind of like to hear your thoughts on the difference of those, and then also your thoughts on this category.
DLCs and expansions should be factored into the ongoing game thing. I think that's fair and fine. Remasters I don't believe they should be included in this because it's just an up-resed version of a game that came out prior. So there's no reason, because somebody like Sony has been doing, where like every 2-3 years they up-res a game, re-release as a remaster, and then what should it be in a category? No, there's no work put into it. It's just a graphical overhaul. Not worth it. Remakes, depending on the remake specifically, like with Dead Space, like with Resident Evil 4. I haven't played Silent Hill 2, but I think those should be category worthy, even potentially Game of the Year worthy, if they are good enough and if they are an overhaul enough to be warranted. But remakes, the effort that gets put into them, rebuilding them, modernizing them, taking something and restructuring it for a modern audience, I think that should be at least appreciated on the award scale.
Okay. Well, there you go, guys. Everybody gave their opinion on it and all of on what we thought. I think we can universally agree on this one, which is okay, hit the wrong button. That Jeff Keighley can rightly go fuck himself a little bit. Because he's trying to basically protect the name, the Game Awards, right? Enigma, that's kind of what is happening here. He's trying to trademark the Game Awards.
So what happened was a trademark went public. I thought that they had the actual trademark on this website, but apparently they don't. I don't remember where I saw the trademark at. But it went public. Essentially, he's looking to trademark the Game Awards and anything. I'm pretty sure anything around that entire like phrasing. Right. So
he's trying to trademark we can't even use the pre-patch podcast
the Game
anymore?
Awards. No, the Game Awards in that specific lettering, right? And so it's one of those situations where it's like, what was it? It was Elder Scrolls that a while ago that tried to copyright Scrolls and the Elder, right? And the Elder Scrolls and anything in between, right? Like you can't trademark stuff like this. Like,
also, this is the most generic ass font you could ever fucking use.
This is ridiculous.
Like, this is like, he just went in and got Helvetica and was like, yeah, that's fine. Helvetica, the Game Awards.
and I've heard a lot of people saying that it's because there was another company or another website that is going by the name of the Real Game Awards, and they're basically game awards that are done by the gamers. They are what Jeff Keighley's Game Awards should be. Though. Yeah, they are what and I said this on Twitter today. Like the Game Awards, I've been watching the Game Awards since their conception, right? When they first started, it was all about the fucking games. It was game,
and
done,
it was community driven. Like,
and
right,
it was
like
the gamers had a lot of a lot of say in it and everything like that. So, but like they've along the years, I don't know what happened. Oh, I do know what happened. Fucking
money. What are you talking
about? Greed
wow.
and money fucking happened. But along the way, they've alienated the original reason why they made the Game Awards, which was to highlight video games of the year that deserved it. And they went from being that to highlighting their sponsors, essentially. And I said that on Twitter today. It turned from being a celebration of gaming to a celebration of their sponsors. And I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Well,
it's ridiculous.
So everybody knows, the next episode on next Thursday, what date is that?
We're gonna have to name it something else.
It's gonna be called the pre-patch awards for gamers that likes games, awards that like PP games. No, can't do that. Not PP games.
PP game awards. The PP awards.
I like that. The PP awards.
The PP awards. So yeah,
God.
we're gonna end up on the wrong site if we do that.
The PP of the year.
Jeff, I think Jeff's getting a little too big for his britches, and I think he needs to kind of pull it back a little bit. He's getting up there where it's just like you're being too pretentious. You're becoming a fucking prick. I'm sorry. Sorry to say. I loved you, Jeff. I loved you, Jeff, but you are becoming that industry standard that I don't like these days. You're becoming the Tim Sweeney.
All right, so like we know for a fact we can never have Ubisoft on the show. We're not going to be able to have anybody from Epic on the show, and now Jeff Keighley is not available to be on the show. Okay, all right. And what's the other guy? Jimmy Rye guy. We can't have Jimmy Rye on the show either. Yeah. So, all right.
Or Bobby Kotick either.
Do we really want them on the show? Nobody wants Bobby Kotick. Those guys, you don't want them anyways, so we're good.
All right. Well, moving on. So we're done with the Game Awards. So close the book on that one.
Are you sure?
But we are moving on to this. This comes to us from cnet.com. This is wild to me, man. Overwatch 2 is bringing back Overwatch 1 via Overwatch Classic. So just think about this for a second. Overwatch 2 came out and killed Overwatch 1. Not just killed it because everybody moved over. It's like because they literally turned it off.
Yeah. They literally
you couldn't play it.
And so you wouldn't really know what really gets me too is the reason that they gave, this is of course what the reason they gave in quotes there was to become this like new Overwatch with like a PvE aspect. And that got
they canceled the PvE.
And now what was the reason for Overwatch 2?
Money.
Money. Yeah, that I'm just saying
money makes the world go round.
So obviously now that failed, guys. So let's go back to Overwatch 1 where we have 6v6 and everything's works and unlike Overwatch 2 where it's all unbalanced bullshit and nobody fucking I don't enjoy it.
I mean,
it's bullshit.
To be honest, Overwatch Classic was unbalanced as fuck. So being able to take 6 tanks in there all at once in the same tank. I mean,
well, they eventually.
Yeah, they eventually
not in this mode. They didn't fix it in this mode.
The Classic is back, like the scatter arrow.
This is like
back.
Yeah, actually, I'm here for it though, dude. I fucking miss my old house.
You are the problem, sir. You are the problem.
No, Overwatch 2 is the problem. I'm just like a minority of the problem.
No, because it's the same thing with COD, because COD brings out the same shit year after year, and you guys go, I'm never going back to COD. That was the worst COD ever. And then you're right there fucking day one.
How much you want to bet? Because here's the problem this is gonna incur. One is like this is only for a timed event, so this isn't like Fortnite where Fortnite OG or OG Classic or whatever the fuck it's called is coming back.
That was originally a timed event too that is now coming back permanently.
Right. This is not what I think's gonna happen here is that this Classic one's gonna come out. It's gonna be more popular than fucking Overwatch 2.
And then they'll bring it back.
But I think they're gonna bring it back as a paid version. They're gonna go Overwatch Classic Remaster, and I fucking bet you they're gonna try.
And it's gonna be nominated for Game of the Year.
PP predicts.
And you'll be right there playing.
I'm not playing this. I won't. I didn't like Overwatch to begin with. I didn't like Overwatch.
It's already out. It's already out.
If they charge for that bullshit, no way in hell. Like that's ridiculous. This is definitely a trial though for them to do something more with it. That's guaranteed. If they charge for that's crazy though.
So. I mean, I'm watching Symmetra basketballs with like 40 fucking like turrets on it that they're just like sending in, or like nothing but one McCree and fucking 6 or Cassidy or whatever his name is.
Classic Overwatch was unhinged as fuck.
I did play. I mean, I did play Overwatch, but I never liked Overwatch.
No, I'm talking about the classic mode that dropped. I haven't played this.
I know. Yeah, I know. I haven't played it. No.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, there you go. So you can. I think when does this run through? It runs through December. Is it running through December 6th? What is it? Does it say how long it's gonna be out until? 6v6. Sure. Heroes never die. Blah blah blah. I don't know. It's on here somewhere, I think. But yeah. I think it's out for like 3 weeks. If I'm not mistaken. All right. Okay. Well, appreciate that one. Thanks. That'll bring us into our next one. From Software is parent company has got over 20 games in development. Bill, this has got to excite you, right? You got to be fucking amped up for this one.
That's a lot of games.
Yeah, I think Miyazaki said that out of the 20, I think 3 or 4 of them are from Software specifically. The umbrella company that they're under has a few other developers in it as well, but I am excited to see. I'm hoping another Armored Core comes out. I would like to see something along the lines of Sekiro come out again, like not necessarily a Sekiro 2, but like something along those lines. I know people are wanting Bloodborne and whatnot to eventually make that
Bloodborne.
Make that jump back, but
you think it'll ever happen though?
Well, they openly said that it's not one of the 20 games.
None of them are.
There you go. Well,
yeah,
shit.
But we'll see what happens.
Why is it that From Software hates Bloodborne so much? Like
it's not From Software, it's Sony. Sony owns Bloodborne.
What the fuck happened to that, man? Like what?
Sony owns the right. They own the full rights to it.
Yeah, Bloodborne is a Sony owned franchise.
And they're just holding it into their court.
Even if From Software wanted to make a Bloodborne or Bloodborne 2, they cannot without Sony greenlighting it. So.
It's a power move. It's a
Sony play.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see it whenever
PlayStation 6 comes out.
That's what I said.
Comes out.
That's what I said.
So. Yeah, you did. Yeah.
PP predicts for me. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I am in the Bill. I'm so sorry, man, because I like as someone that loves Armored Core, like I need to go play it. I really do because it's so fucking good.
It is good. It's one of the only games. It's the only game I 100%ed this year.
Yeah, it's that came
out
this
year.
Right?
Sorry,
no, yeah, I was
last
saying
year.
I think it last year. I was saying if it came out this year, then it definitely should be in the running for fucking Game of the Year. But I think it was in the running last year for Game of the Year.
Yeah, one action Game of the Year last year.
Yep. So I don't know. I mean, I think. Do you think they're all going to be Bloodborne? Are they Souls like? I mean, do you think that that's just like kind of the formula they're going to stick with? Do you think they're going to
not all
venture out?
No, because like I said, this umbrella company, it's not just From Software underneath of them. They've got several other game developers. Like it's saying there, Tenchu series, Octopath Traveler series, like that's all underneath this Katakoa. Yeah, so
I didn't know that Octopath, bro. Oh my god, Octopath is such a good game. If you've not played Octopath Traveler, you need to play Octopath Traveler. That game is so fucking good.
Yeah, only a few of them are From Software based, but it is nice to see that this company is doing well, and I'm sure they recognize that From Software is a big factor of that company doing well.
If they do make another game, I would really appreciate a Tenchu game. That would really do.
Have you played Sekiro?
I have. I played Sekiro. I played all of it.
It didn't scratch the Tenchu itch for you.
It did.
From what I understand,
yeah.
Sekiro is supposed to be like that spiritual successor to Tenchu.
It's really good. I did the gauntlet and all of that. I was just waiting to see if they actually did a second game for Sekiro.
Right. A Tenchu would be good. Like, and actually bringing a modern Tenchu into things.
Yes, I would love that. That's the only real reason that I even considered the the Ubisoft.
Don't you fucking do it.
Yeah,
Don't you
I won't. I'm
fucking
not gonna bring it
dare,
up. I'm not gonna
Tony.
bring it up. I'm not gonna bring it up. I'm
Don't
not gonna
you
bring it up.
dare.
We're
You
gonna
can
move
bring it
on.
up when we talk about it later on, dirtbag. You better not. I
But
swear to
You
fucking
buy that
God.
battle pass
But
too,
to be-
Tony?
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it. But to be fair, I would love to see a Tenchu game, a new
Well, you-
Tenchu game or a new Sekiro.
You definitely ain't getting it for free. You need to know that unless your community buys it for him. And I'm gonna tell you right now, all Tony's community, don't you fucking dare. Don't you fucking dare buy him that game. Don't you do it. He's not allowed to play it. I'm putting my foot down. So anyway, let's move on to a game that we talked about Game Awards. It's looking like a sequel may be in the works. I mean, we already know there's a sequel in the works for sure.
We already knew it.
But they were supposed to be multiplayer in Cyberpunk 2077 before they shit canned that idea because obviously they had a lot of other stuff to work on. Do you guys think that this actually can work? Like, do you really think that there could be a multiplayer mode in Cyberpunk 2077?
So the only reason I think that there can be a multiplayer mode is because they're probably seeing, and I'm not trying to base this off of Rockstar and Grand Theft Auto, but if they're already seeing that like role playing or RP is doing very well for Grand Theft Auto, can you imagine role playing in the Cyberpunk space?
So
It's not,
just
and it's not even just role play. Like GTA Online brings in billions probably
it
for
brings
fucking
it brings in a
Rockstar
lot of
on a yearly basis. And if they whatever you want, whatever issues you have with Cyberpunk, whatever you know, they had obviously when they released, they were in a piss poor state. Obviously, nobody's arguing that. Like, I'm not even arguing that, and I'm the biggest advocate for fucking Cyberpunk in this entire fucking podcast probably. But they have a city and they have a game worthy of that style of fucking play. Like, if you could give players the GTA Online experience, but have like the role play aspects of Cyberpunk inside of that online experience, you could print money, man. Like, easy. Fucking easy.
Legit, all they really need too is just to have an online model, and then modders will take care of the rest.
Yeah.
What do you think that it'll be like what they were? Because originally they had a multiplayer plan, like we talked about. They had a multiplayer plan. I remember talking with the dev about the multiplayer plan when I was at E3 a long time ago. Like, it was supposed to be this persistent kind of idea that you were all in this connected world. You didn't know if you were actually talking or engaging with a real person or a person that was an NPC, and this all kind of connected.
I think
scope.
I think that's all bullshit. That's just smoke that they were trying to blow up. Fucking
that sounds like No Man's Sky level.
Bullshit. I could see it being very much a GTA Online experience, like where you just have, you know, an online consistent open world where you have people around you and you can see the players in the open world. They have their own player, they have their own character, they have their own missions that they're doing and everything like that. I think they could very easily do that in a Cyberpunk game.
Do you think that it might be something where because you said, Scruffy, about giving the modders the tools, do you think maybe they look at like No Pixel and go, hey, you know what, instead of us trying to make something, we're just going to give you guys the dev set, and we're going to have our game, but it's going to come out collaboratively. Oh my God. It's going to come out alongside with this and basically have like these guys at No Pixel or whatever dev making the multiplayer for it.
To be honest, it might be a little bit of a lazy route. I think really I would prefer them to just integrate multiplayer and all of that on their own. But all I'm saying is really all they need to do is just integrate an online model of some sort. And 100% modders will take over, just like they did GTA RP or with GTA with No Pixel and all of the 5M mods and stuff. Again, that's kind of a lazy route, in my opinion.
Well, you got to remember that Cyberpunk itself and Red M or whatever their development engine is. I think it's the Red M or the Red
5M
engine or something like that.
5M.
No, that's for
GTA. I don't know.
Their system is Red engine essentially. Their system is extremely easily modded. Like, as soon as they released like the modding tools, like it was day one, just like that.
But I think multiplayer was the hitch. There was really rough integration. I think people found like very like little scraps of like multiplayer kill, but it wasn't enough to go off of to really get a good multiplayer mod going.
No, the problem that they had, the problem that the problem that they had with their multiplayer was that instead of focusing on, because like multiplayer wasn't originally meant to come out when it released, it was something they were going to add
right.
after.
It was an afterthought,
and,
really.
And when they released it and saw all the shit that they had to go through and all the crap that they had to fucking fix because they released a broken game originally, they were just like, well, we have to devote the time to fix the game. We can't devote the time to continue developing.
Which I think was the correct response, unfortunately, because we all wanted multiplayer. But what good would multiplayer be with a broken game? They would, So, yeah.
All right. Well, cool. Well, maybe it'll get it, and then me and Enigma can have a huge argument on the next year's or whatever time this is going to come out Game of Years podcast or Game Awards podcast, and we won't talk for like
you won't see fucking Cyberpunk for like another 12 years, bro. What are you talking about?
Will I see that before Ashes of Creation?
It'll literally be 2077 by the time that we see Cyberpunk 2.
All right. Well, moving on, keeping on with Cyberpunk and all that kind of stuff. Cyberpunk releases obviously on GOG. And GOG has announced that they're announcing a preservation program that aims to maintain basically game compatibility with modern and future systems. I don't know who posted this.
This is me.
What does this entail? What are they trying to do?
I mean, it's exactly what GOG has been doing since day one. Essentially, GOG is the place you go for pretty much trying to conserve and protect exactly what Bill, stands for pretty much every fucking podcast, right? Like, and he, well enough, he should, right? They are basically trying to go out and state, hey, we talked about it, I think like 2 podcasts ago, right? Gaming should be seen as an art form, essentially. It should be taken seriously, and it should be taken to an extent of what they do for art, like music and TV and movies, right? They should be preserving it, and they're not. GOG is trying to do that. That's what they're trying to. They're trying to put together a preservation program that aims to try and maintain game compatibility for the future, no matter what future system you play it on. So like, there are certain games that released for Windows 7 that I can no longer play because there's no compatibility mode for Windows 11. Right? That's not a thing that happens.
Yeah.
So they're trying to come up with a program that will give people the ability to play those games.
That'd be amazing.
On systems that might not necessarily have
a lot of those old 32-bit games are just not operational.
So wait, does this mean that I'll be able to play WildStar again?
If WildStar comes up with more fucking servers, sure.
Yeah, wait.
So Bill, I got a question for you, because in chat they're saying that you are the physical media and preservation messiah. Do you accept these terms and responsibilities that come along with that title?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I've got preservation Jesus.
I've got Overwatch 1 on physical. If that
we're still waiting to see, does he get Concord? The day that he gets Concord, I will allow you to have that title. You have to get Concord first. You have to get
Sounds good.
That game first. Actually,
just to kind of like go through some of these things. Like they said that they revived the Heroes of Might and Magic 3 from 10 years ago,
was a really good game,
which was previously unavailable. Like you couldn't actually play those on the Russian and French version of the game. And they've brought those back for compatibility with Windows 10 and 11. So,
you know what is crazy though is
what I understand is pretty good company with all of that kind of stuff. Guy's like the good man of games. Good man of games. Is that what that stands for?
No,
there's
that. No, good man is GMG, buddy.
Good.
Ohio's fucking schools. Jesus Christ. You know what I learned, and it made total sense too. Completely off topic. I learned that the Paul brothers are from fucking Ohio, and then it all clicked. I was like,
all right,
that makes sense.
We didn't have to talk.
I now get that.
We didn't have to bring that up.
Yep. Well, I wanted to bring it up whenever we were talking about being rigged with the Game Awards, just like the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight being rigged. But we didn't get to talk about that. All right. Well, moving on from GOG and their self-preservation, we are going to be talking about another game that is actually coming out. It should be soon, right? I think Arc Raiders is actually like right around the corner. If I'm not mistaken, I think it shouldn't be too far out.
Wait, really?
I don't think it is. I think it comes out next year.
I don't know. I think next year's fucking 2 months. It's not that far away. Like, I'm not saying
like late next year. Not.
Either way, I just did you see this somewhere that it was coming out soon?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I heard from, and I don't. I watched a video on YouTube from a reliable source that I think
there's no announcement.
I'm pretty sure that it'll be. I guarantee, like, mark my words. I'm gonna say like early access definitely within the first like 3 or 4 months of the new year.
It'll probably be like May. I would say May personally, but
okay. What you're seeing here is basically early test footage of Arc Raiders. Have you guys watched Arc Raiders or seen any footage of Arc Raiders?
I'm pissed I didn't even get into the test. I've been signed up for it for like over a year now plus. I'm like, what does it take to get into it? It's crazy.
Like over 1,000 followers.
You gotta have a really good mouth. Anyway, Arc Raiders is Arc Raiders is a PvPvE game. It's an extraction shooter. What's funny is that it actually originally was supposed to be a looter shooter, and then it completely
which they shouldn't
gears,
have fucking changed.
Into this extraction.
It's gonna be like a Destiny style, from what I understand originally.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, from the playtest I saw, let's just say it looks really pretty. Like, looks pretty. Like, the game looks beautiful.
This gameplay looks really good. And from everything that I've heard from all the reviewers and everybody that's had hands-on with it, it plays really well. It's very smooth. Like it actually, there's not a ton of. I think that one guy said that this is like the first early access game or whatever you want, alpha, whatever you want to call it. That he's not seen any like game breaking bugs or bugs in general. Really,
it does look good. I'm always a little upset. Like, was this under NDA for people to stream? I'm not sure.
They could not stream it. This was a closed.
Okay.
They couldn't show their own gameplay.
Yeah. So what I'm always upset about these is like, this is obviously, from what I can tell, looks pretty real gameplay. But just like, why still have it scripted? Like, just we want to see like what the game actually functions like with somebody who's playing it at a high like intensity level as an extraction shooter would be played. Give us an actual gamer's perspective of the game, not a scripted.
Well, event. I think that this actually, so this was taken during the event that they had. And then they compiled.
This looks like a journalist is playing it, bro.
This is developers. This is the developers.
No, right. I know. I'm joking, but still, it's very scripted.
I mean, but this was because this was actually done during the event. Like, they had a play test that they allowed a set number of people to come in and play for, like, I think it was like 20 hours or a weekend or something like that. That was NDA'd. It was locked in, and it was only a certain amount of players. And then they took footage from that, and the devs played in that game. Like, it's not scripted in this.
It's not scripted, but
the way those guys were posed outside the doors and the way that guy was like going out and standing out there with the flare and then boom, sniper. Like,
just the way they're playing is so cinematic and like
it gives me it gives me Ghost Recon Wildlands vibes. Like, you remember the gameplay trailer for Ghost Recon Wildlands where they had like the cringe as fuck
gives me Division vibes completely.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, just give us some actual real gameplay of like what we would jump into it and play it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Regardless of that, let's talk about the gameplay that we're seeing. I mean,
it
looks good. I'm not saying that it doesn't look. It looks bad.
It does look pretty and looks.
I get what Tony's saying too. I get PUBG vibes off of it. Like, I definitely get like the PUBG vibes. This part I did not understand because they also were talking about like they wanted to have this like area of like suspense and spooky and all this other kind of shit, and I'm like, what? Like, I understand like wanting that, but like, why do that? So like, I don't know. To me, adding this part in where it was like, oh, we're also gonna have like this horror element of like going into a building completely blacked out. I mean, I mean,
like how scary is it really going to get once you're in the game? I don't know.
Yeah, like, and everybody's running around with flashlights to just, or how many people are actually going to go into this building and do this kind of shit, like.
See that guy running across the hall?
I mean, sure. I don't know. Can we get off the scripted thing? We don't know. I don't know. We can't know if it's scripted or not scripted. I'm just saying, like.
Well, I can know. I go with 99.99% accuracy.
I don't know.
Like I said, again, going back to the actual gameplay, the gameplay looks smooth. The fucking like the mechanics, like the extraction mechanics, from what I've seen, look well thought out. I still to this day am going to stand for it shouldn't have been changed to an extraction shooter. I think that this game looks more like it should be a looter shooter, and it's very like it it's accurate because it was a looter shooter originally. Like that's why it looks like a looter shooter originally.
Right. It had the grounds and the bones of a looter shooter, and now they just kind of.
I still don't understand why they moved it to an extraction shooter. Like in a day and age where we have so many looter shooters, why add another? I don't get it.
I get like shooters? At the time they were like really big,
extraction shooters. Yeah.
To be fair, like I don't know, maybe they're still popping up everywhere, but they don't last. They never do.
That's what I'm saying.
Other than the big ones. And this is coming out so late in the game. I worry because I was excited for it. I actually wanted this one to be good. I just worry it's not going to be now that they've gone to the extraction route.
Fair enough, but you haven't played it yet. So I try to give.
Fair point.
Try to give
games. What I don't intend to.
I will give it like a shot, of course. Yeah.
You still haven't played it yet, and I'm gonna give
it worries me more going into it. I'm more hesitant at this point now.
As soon as I heard that it went to an extraction shooter, this game went off my radar. I was like, all right.
I understand that it may not be for you, but the thing is, right? If it would have just been just a looter shooter by itself, right? No PvP aspect of, you know what I mean, the extraction.
The looter shooter doesn't mean that it wouldn't have PvP, because the Division had PvP and had really successful PvP for a long time.
For a while until it didn't. Until it didn't anymore.
But it also wasn't the central focus of the game.
Yeah, it wasn't the central focus. Yeah.
But you don't. I'm curious.
Do you need PvP? And I know the Sin's answer is yes.
For a game, I'm gonna be real with
to
you.
Be successful,
for a game to have very longevity, and we're not talking about certain ones. In my opinion, you need PvP.
But does the First Descendant have PvP?
No, but that game is not. That game is not still on the radar like it anywhere close to was. Like they are hemorrhaging players.
It was pretty big, and maybe I haven't recently looked at it, but. That was a fairly successful extraction.
If your game does not have PvP in it, eventually the numbers will drop. That is.
I think they do PvP like Destiny does.
I'm just saying. I don't agree. I don't agree with every game having to have PvP. But I'm
very
talking about
heavily disagree with that statement. I very heavily disagree with that statement. Because if you lean, like, I agree if you're going to go off the statement of like the PvE wasn't enjoyable enough,
or like,
like, yes, there are a lot of games that release with very, very bad PvP or very bad PvE, and that's all. And yes, they do fail extremely quickly. But if you have an actual game where you put a lot of effort into the PvE, you take into consideration, and it's probably not a very fair example, but like you look at the recent RPGs that came out, like Baldur's Gate 3, everything like that, right? They are still pulling in consistent 100,000, 200,000 players, right? They leaned very heavily into the PvE. They didn't need the PvP, right? And again, I get it. That's a completely different game. It's not a looter shooter. It's not an extraction shooter, right? But if you lean into it and you have good quality PvE, and you continuously pump out new content, Division 2, say what you want about the PvP and everything like that. Say what you want about the game. It is dead. They don't have a very big player base, but they consistently come out with good polished content, and it brings back people consistently every update.
So here's my thing and we can move on after this, but here's my thing. If a game does have good PvE, and Baldur's Gate after a while, and I love Larian Studios, I love Baldur's Gate, but if Baldur's Gate would have just gave you everything and dropped it on you the way they did, which they're about to get away from Baldur's Gate, no more updates and stuff like that from it.
That game had PvP.
No. I'm just saying, do you think Baldur's Gate...
You pushed him off of a ledge and killed him.
That wasn't me, that was Enigma.
We
asshole, I forgot about that. You bitch.
We can move on now. We don't have to talk about this subject anymore. But
what were you saying?
Once they're done, in my opinion, once Baldur's Gate is done and there's no more updates to the game, do you believe that they're still going to be able to hold those same numbers? You get what I'm saying?
I think so. Yeah,
I think so. I think that game's got the longevity.
But because it's not fair, because that game also has modding. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's not a very good comparison.
But
yeah,
I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying. But yeah.
Well, games also don't have to necessarily have longevity to be
I agree too.
successful.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
I don't want to live in a world where every game is either a multiplayer game or a live service game.
That's true too. Yeah,
I agree.
That's kind of where we've been at for the last few years here.
Last thing that I'll say about it is like you look at Destiny, right? Destiny, people aren't going back and playing Destiny, at least in my opinion, people aren't going back and playing Destiny strictly for the PvP, right? Every season they're coming back for the new content, the new PvE content.
New updates.
The fact that it has PvP is definitely, it does lean very heavily into their, you know, why they're keeping their player base, at least in some aspects. But a lot of that is that they are well known for their PvE content.
Yeah,
maybe not the last couple expansions. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about a game that is actually fully PvP. And it comes out on well, hopefully December 6th. Barring that their asses don't get fucking tied up in a massive fucking lawsuit for this. But if you're unfamiliar with what I am talking about, Marvel Rivals, I am so stoked for that game. Cannot wait for that game.
By the way, I found this. This was mine. Not
are so full of shit.
Not only Marvel Rivals though that we have to be worried about, but I'm blanking. Fragpunk too.
Yeah, all of
Fragpunk I believe is a subsidiary of NetEase.
Yeah, so NetEase essentially some of the higher up execs, I think 5 total, were let go. 9. And 9 is it 9 now? Okay, 9. Were let go because of money laundering, upwards of $139.3 million. Well. Yeah. I mean, look, bribery. What are we bribing? Because Ubisoft could be on this fucking list just as much. I mean, they bribed Tony the fucking hell to try to say good things about that. Tony, show me where on the doll they bribed you. Anyway, but NetEase is
shaking his head.
He's like here.
NetEase execs have been arrested for bribery. I don't think this is going to affect Marvel Rivals coming out. I think
the only reason why I can see it affecting it is if they freeze their fucking accounts. That's the only reason I could see it.
I think this is localized to just solely these 9 employees. And obviously whatever, you know, they were, but again, it's not like I mean, unless NetEase comes out and being like, wait, we were the ones that were telling you to go do this. We were giving you the roadmap, showing you how to embezzle, how
operating
to do all this
under NetEase.
Right. Like that kind of, then at that point, yeah, we're now in for a whole, like the whole shit show. But I guarantee that if NetEase falls, Tencent falls, and all of them else go down with it, because it ain't just in this. And in fact, an unknown number of external individuals linked to the anti-corruption charges are also being investigated, with NetEase adding to the 27 external companies have been blacklisted due to connections with the conduct of those arrested. That means 27 additional companies, external companies. That leads me to believe that this was not that NetEase wasn't just as innocent as what they are kind of like. Hey, maybe they knew it was going, maybe they didn't. And if that happens, then yes, it's a big problem.
It was a factor of, well, this guy's doing it, so why can't we? For sure, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. But this is a big deal for. I mean, yes, for I think Marvel Rivals. I hope that NetEase can come out. I know I can't say that NetEase is. I want them to come out on top. But you know, I mean, I'm super excited about Marvel.
You want Marvel Rivals to come out?
Dude, I want Marvel Rivals so bad. That game, I can't.
Fucking PoE 2 is gonna kick Marvel Rivals ass to the street. Let's be real. Come on now.
Overwatch Classic is taking Marvel Rivals down.
Shut up. Two completely different games.
Okay. Well, what if I told you that if you had to play Marvel Rivals, you had to have a PSN Sony online account? Would you still play it?
I'm done. Nope.
Pissed. What? Why?
Well, because Sony is not giving up the fight, saying that you should be required for PSN accounts to be on PC games. They are still fighting hard for this one.
But
on Sony games.
Right.
Yeah.
I know. I'm kidding. I'm just doing a segue. Holy fucking Christ!
Oh my God,
facetious and making
was
very.
Bro, I'm gonna blame it on the Ohio water.
I got it.
All right.
I got it. Yeah, no, they are 100% doubling down. Basically, they're buckling down on it, and they've said that they feel that the PSN account requirements across the board are required to have a safe environment for people to play games in. What that means, I do not know. I don't understand what a safe environment is, considering if they're talking about like account details. Sony's been hacked multiple times over the last few years. I don't know what the fuck they're on about with that. So if they're talking about like safety when it comes down to like they can moderate better, I'd rather Sony wasn't anywhere near my game moderation because they've never done a really good job at it to begin with. So I'm good. I'll pass on that for sure. And on top of that, they've been putting fucking PSN account requirements into single player games, which makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, that I don't agree with, but here's what I'm gonna say, and I'm saying this to everybody in chat, and I'm saying this to everybody on the fucking podcast, and everybody that's listening to it in the world. Guess what, guys? You guys have already been doing this shit for a long time. You link your accounts to fucking Twitch, you link your accounts to fucking other accounts, you create accounts to play games all the fucking time that you link into your Steam account. This is nothing new, right? I don't like this is not gonna go away.
Like it.
I don't mean you're gonna fucking like it, but you're still gonna do it. I don't like taking out the fucking trash, but I got to do it every Monday. I don't know what the fuck.
I don't have to do it. I don't have to do it if I don't want to. I haven't signed up for a fucking Epic account. Fuck that.
I am just saying that there are this is not something new, and it's gonna Sony isn't gonna go away on this. Like they're gonna keep doing it, and the Sony on on single player games, absolutely agree. That is fucking atrocious. Yeah. That is stupid. On multiplayer games, hey, you know what? Because all they're gonna do is hide it behind crossplay. Be like, hey, you want to crossplay or whatever else? You gotta link your accounts. That's why you're doing it. No, yeah, you don't get an option. The game is crossplay whether you like it or not, and you can turn it off, but you still gotta link the account. So that's how they're gonna get away with it. So just letting you know that.
Pass.
All right. I do want to bring up one last topic before we go into quick hits. How do you guys feel about 5-day early access?
No,
I don't.
Avowed says yes.
In what context?
Yeah.
So Avowed is selling a 5-day early access.
I don't care. It's a single player game. It
comes with a higher edition. So if you're willing to pay $90 for the big boy fancy edition, you will get 5 days early access. It's also coming with it's coming to the Battle.net Blizzard launcher.
For some reason. Which makes no fucking sense.
I don't know. They want to get it out everywhere. People that don't want to use Steam or whatever. But yeah. Thoughts?
I don't care.
You don't
know.
It's crashing. This is at this point, like, why? I don't understand why every game needs an early access.
It's an easy way to get money because early access used to be a pre-order bonus, and then people stopped pre-ordering, so they had to up the ante.
Had to do FOMO to give a reason for people to want to play the game early.
I just don't get FOMO for a single player game. I mean, it's just if somebody buys into this, whatever.
People that will stream it, that will buy it. And people that watch those streamers will be like, well, I want to play this game too, and they will buy it.
Hold on, Ubisoft did this right with Jedi, the new Star Wars Outlaws, right? I know they did that.
A lot of games. So Ubisoft has done it with multiple games.
Ubisoft does it all the time.
Yeah.
What else just launched that they did this shit with? That was a big one. Didn't they do it with Dragon Age? Didn't you get early access with Dragon Age 2 or no? Was that
probably?
No?
I thought I know.
I don't know.
Maybe it was Dragon Age. I could have sworn there was another single player game. Oh, Silent Hill fucking did it. Silent Hill did it. If you got the bigger edition,
that's right, they did.
You got to play it 3 days early. With that one. So I don't know.
Assassin's Creed Shadows was going to do it as well, and then they fucking canceled the 5-day early or the 3-day early access.
No,
of course.
They tacked in a battle pass. Though. Are you guys willing to do the battle pass?
What are you exactly like asking? Like, are we okay with early access?
I'm being facetious and asking a rhetorical fucking question, man. I don't think that you guys. I don't think anybody on the show is gonna.
It's just a lazy way to up your deluxe editions and your ultimate editions. Like it's a no value.
It's a nothing burger.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's different when it's like a multiplayer game because in that case,
you know damn well after the 5 days are up and the game's like out normal that those digital edition, the deluxe editions and the ultimate editions aren't going to drop in price, even with that part of the deal being void at that point. So
I guess it also depends on how well they sell and if it's near Black Friday because
I legit, Bill, thought that you were going to tell me that was a lazy fucking segue, and I was going to be like, God damn.
That was a lazy segue, bro. Come on now.
What the fuck? Okay, well, you come up with your own goddamn segues if you don't like my segues, fucker.
I gave you a segue into the next one.
We are now going to segue into fucking quick hits so that we can get the show done and over with. All right, so a couple of big things and what quick hits are. If you're new to our podcast, they are articles that either A, we did not have time to get into the full show, but they're things that we want to talk about that we think, or at least mention, not have a full-blown session on. As we kind of said earlier, Assassin's Creed Shadow is adding a battle pass. It leaked, and it's a first time for the franchise. I don't know why anybody is shocked about this. Ubisoft is in lawsuits because they shut down the crew. Do what?
I'm green screen. I've been holding my cam. Like, is it reflective? But my can is. Why am I green screen? Like, do you have it across the entire part?
I don't know. Anyway, god damn it, man! I can't get through any quick hits without ever getting fucking interrupted or just one time. I want to get through my quick hits without fucking having an interruption. God damn it. Also, Phil Spencer has said that there have been no red lines, or he is saying that there's no red lines in first party lineup. Basically meaning that Halo will most likely come out to PlayStation and make the jump over. I mean, yeah, I don't know why there should be any kind of first party anything for any games, period. So Monster Hunter has talked about has released a reveal trailer called Monster Hunter Outlanders. It is a mobile experience. Yes, it is a mobile experience. And it's very... It's like kind of like their Monster Hunter fucking Pokemon
the AR
Go
one?
Shit, isn't it?
No,
it's just like a full blown like mobile experience.
Open. It's basically like Monster Hunter World. It's just an open world.
It's an MMO. Awesome. I was right. I didn't even have to wait that long. I fucking
It's not an MMO.
I only had to wait a week. MMO. It's an MMO. All right. Sega has confirmed that Humankind developer that's it. It just stops right there.
Nobody deleted it.
Nobody puts it. It literally. I wish I could show you the fucking notes. Chat. I'm telling you right now. It literally says Sega has sold Humankind developer Amplitude.
It's because
is there more to it, or is that it?
Deleted it. Yeah, there should be some more to it. Somebody deleted shit out of it.
Okay, well, I guess Humankind got the Amplitude got sold. Fallout Season 2 show adds Macaulay Culkin. That's really in quick hits. Y'all are really that desperate for fucking? Holy shit! What? Okay, Macaulay Culkin's coming to Fallout Season 2 TV show.
It's a quick hit. What do you want that to be a super quick hit?
Right? Yo, every time that Ryan Reynolds is in a new show, I'm fucking adding him into the quick hits that we're gonna be talking about.
Sega has basically gotten rid of Amplitude, and they're now their own developer. They're an indie developer again.
Okay, all right.
I don't know who fucking deleted the rest of that. I don't know who fucking deleted the rest of that, but that was what it was supposed to say.
Adamfall announced his release date of March 27th. It is priced at $50 for standard and $70 for deluxe edition. I don't know what Adamfall is.
I believe that was
that is the British the British fucking Fallout
apocalyptic. Yeah, it kind of looked like the Atomic Heart game.
Or Atomic Heart.
Yo, Stalker 2 comes out next week. That comes out next week.
We're not gonna be able to talk about it, but I am looking forward to it.
Yep. Nvidia's new GPU prices supposedly leaked. They're talking about $2,000 and $2,500. I will let you know when I buy one. AMD is laying off 1,000 staff after their brand new GPU. Or no, their GPU revenues plummet, but they just announced a new CPU. So
it's almost like GPUs are too expensive and people don't want to pay $2,500 for them.
Nope. Steam is accused of normalizing hate and extremism in the gaming community in a new ADL report.
Yeah, that's just something
we'll link that because we'll link the link in the patch notes so you can go and see that, because that needs to be in there so you can go and read that on your own.
Yeah.
Okay. And also Nintendo obviously is suing a streamer of pirated software for millions of dollars, and the report came out for what they are suing Pal World for, which isn't it what we said, which is tossing the fucking ball at something and catching it.
Do we have time to go over it? Because I do kind of want to go over the actual patent.
We've been over it before, haven't we?
Kind of, but we have actual like details of what they patented.
All right, I'm gonna give you 2 minutes. Go.
So 3 patents. One of them is the patent of aiming in a direction in a virtual space based on a second operation input and causing in a second mode a player character to shoot. The second one is a sight direction within a virtual space determined based on second operation input in a first mode. A player character is allowed to release an item affecting a field character. And then there's third one was in one example of a game program, a writing object for a ground or an aerial writing object is selected by selection operation and a player character is made to ride on the selected writing object. So
90%
in layman's terms, in layman's terms, they patented throwing a Pokeball, they patented throwing a Pokeball at a Pokemon, and they patented throwing a Pokeball or throwing a Pokemon out of a Pokeball and riding on a Pokemon.
Yeah, and also like 100% of FPSs that you throw something at a
grenades,
grenades, utility, anything, or MMOs that you throw something at.
Hold on,
you mount something that's patented.
The very basics. The second one is also comments about like the player, whatever they released, fighting another character or object, essentially.
So what happens if like I play Red Dead Redemption and I lasso a motherfucker and then I bring them to me and then use them as I throw them off my horse and use them as a weapon
at an enemy,
at another person. Can I be sued by Nintendo?
You get striked. Yep.
All right. Okay. So we can't use Helvetica font to say the gaming awards, and we can't use anything where we throw something, catch something, let something go, and force them to fight. All right. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So Pocket Pair also said we're not backing down, and we are asserting our position in this case.
They're showing their Pocket Pair.
Hey. They're showing their PP, just like us.
Whoa.
They're not willing to. They're not willing to do it. So.
All right.
What the problem is?
And on top of that, the patents that were right there appeared only this year. So literally, when Power Word released, Pokemon
that's a shocker. That's weird. Would never thought. All right. Tony, I know you were saying something, and then we.
Oh no, because we'll drag it on, but we'll get move on. That's fine.
Okay.
Well, if we want to talk more about the patents, I could go a little bit deeper into.
No, we're not.
No,
all right. For everybody that has been here, thank you so much to our live audience. Thank you so much to Tony, to Enigma, to Bill, and to Scruffy. Episode 144 is done. A reminder.
You too, Sin.
Huh? Yeah.
Thanks to you too, bro.
Thanks, Sin.
Yeah, hosting is a thankless job. I get shit on for my segues. I don't get to get through my quick hits. Y'all fucking abuse me. You delete shit out of the fucking thing. Like I told you, I'm on fucking Burgundy. You can't do that.
You deleted it. Somebody else deleted it. I had everything in there.
Any way, shape, or form. Thank you so much for everybody being here. I went up, like I said, for the 144th episode. This is our last real technical episode. That's going to be our traditional format. Next week, on Thursday. Again, what is the dates? Hold on. I know we said it earlier and I forgot already. The 21st. So the 21st, we will have a normal time, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, across our 2 channels. But we're going to be doing our game of the year predicts games words for gamers that like games made by game developers. So yeah, and we're going to go through all of ours. It's a great time. I think, Tony, you might not be able to make that show, correct?
Might not. Just really depends on the wife.
Yeah. But which we send all the love and healing stuff to the wifey as she is going through stuff. So but we will still be here live on our channels. If this is your first time here, welcome in. If it's not your first time, go back and listen to some of our other episodes. We're also on TikTok. We're on X. I'm trying to get us on Blue Sky. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. If you're a boomer, you can catch all of our shorts. Bill and Enigma do some amazing work with our shorts. You can join our Discord. You can pretty much catch us anywhere and everywhere. For this week coming up, I know that we're all kind of streaming some content. I know Enigma will probably be diving into Stalker 2, as will I. Scruffy, you do anything other than Warzone and COD?
There's some games I've been wanting to check out. One horror game specifically, but no, not too much. Not too much other than that.
All right, Bill, what you got under the umbrella there? What are you gonna be playing?
I'm still trying to get stuff together on the main channel, so nothing in particular that I have planned, at least.
All right. And I mean, we already know Tony's playing Fortnite, so I don't really know if I got to go to Tony.
Every day, all day.
I'm playing Fortnite, but at the same time, I wanted to get into Stalker as well. So I probably will be playing that when it does release.
Is there multiplayer in Stalker?
No.
Oh, it's not a game worth my time. All right. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the night. Enjoy your week. We will see you guys on Thursday. We're out of here, guys. Bye.
Bye, guys.